I've been doing a lot of thinking about why I've been invited by a vet practice in Cornwall to go and do a stint there. And I think I've just worked it out. This may be Britain's answer to Bondi. Just a little bit older. Same number of poms though.
Chris is on the south coast of England in the seaside town of Newquay in Cornwall. He's been invited by vets Peter Murrish and Philip Harris to work as a locum at the Penmelon Vet Clinic.
Hello, how are you?
How are you doing? All right?
Yeah, good. So, what have you got lined up for me? You've been saving the special cases, haven't you?
We've got a fair few for you.
Okay.
You're going to love them.
There you go, sweetheart.
This busy coastal practice looks after both domestic and farm animals.
We've got a fair few things planned for Chris. Certainly some cases that he won't have experienced from back home in Australia. He should find that it's quite an exciting time over here with us, and it'll be an experience he won't forget.
Chris has hardly settled in before Philip gives him his first patient.
Hi Chris, all right?
Hey mate.
Yeah, I've got a call for you.
Yeah?
Calf with swelling in the umbilical region for one of my really good dairy farmers. I'd like you to go and have a look at it if that's okay.
Okay. He's really good, as in really valued to you and your practice.
He's one of the best farmers in the county, if not the country.
Okay, look after him is the brief.
Exactly. Take care.
Thanks, mate. So, a calf with a lump sounds fairly straightforward, but country people have a way of, well, understating things. So, either the calf isn't small, or the lump isn't. How you going? I'm Chris.
All right, I'm Paul.
Hey, Paul, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
All right, so don't laugh, all right?
You're cold, eh?
Freezing. So what's going on? You got one of these little...
Yeah, so I rang surgery out this morning. There's this calf there that wasn't eating, and she's very agitated.
Okay.
She has got a lump there, which seems to got bigger. It's come down more, so that's affecting her, I think.
Okay.
It's 4-month-old Walnut that dairy farmer Paul is worried about.
You can see he's got the lump there. It's got worse over the last couple of days.
It's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The moment I walk into the pen, there's no mistaking the problem. Just looking at that, Paul, I mean, it could be a number of different things. I mean, she could have a growth there, she could have an abscess.
Yeah.
It could be a hernia, but you know, for me the worry is the fact that she's off of food today. With lumps like that, you usually have time, but if she's not well today, then...
That's right, something needs to be done sooner rather than later.
Exactly. The thing about any cow is you can't just walk up to them and ask politely to feel between their legs. It doesn't really work that way. So we are going to need to push her into a corner, hold her there while I'll take Walnut's temperature, because that'll tell me straight away whether we're dealing with an infection here or something else entirely. Okay, so that's normal, which is interesting. I guess it makes something like an abscess a little less likely.
Yeah.
Doesn't explain why we're seeing what we're seeing though. All right, let's have a little feel. So it's right down the middle, which is interesting. It's quite soft. So the fact that I can put my hand in there, get rid of that.
Big hole there.
Yeah, so I think she's got a hernia.
Hernia, yeah.
A hernia is really a hole in the body wall, and it doesn't sound too serious, but the issue is that things can then fit through the hole and cause these lumps. The real danger with a hernia like Walnut has is that it's very easy for a bit of intestine to sneak through and then get stuck, lose its blood supply, and all of a sudden she could be dead in hours.
Well, we need to get her sorted out sooner rather than later, don't we? So what do you suggest, taking her up to the surgery or? Yeah.
I'd love to be able to tell Paul that this hernia will actually find a way to fix itself, but going on the fact it's grown so much over the last few days and Walnut isn't well today, it's not going to happen. She needs an operation and she needs it now.
I'll go.
Chris needs to urgently transport the calf back to the clinic for life-saving surgery.
I'll go. Good go. Go on, there you go. Good go.
Operating on cows is always something that, as a vet, you become a little bit worried about because there are so many things that could go wrong. Obviously, you have the anaesthetic risk, but on top of that, cows can so easily get bloated during the procedure. If that happens, we could lose Walnut.
Good girl. Good girl.
Chris is at the Penmelon Vet Clinic in the UK, where he's about to perform life-saving surgery on 4-month-old Walnut.
A little bit of a sleep, sweetheart.
The calf has a massive hernia growing out of her stomach, and it needs to be removed urgently.
Usually where a cow falls asleep is where she stays. But thankfully we've got a hoist, and that means I can actually get Walnut into the exact position I need for the surgery. Obviously removing the hernia here is the main priority, but at the same time with any cow anaesthetic you have to be so conscious of two things. First of all, they produce saliva constantly, so unless you're getting rid of it, they can essentially drown in their own saliva. But also they produce a lot of gas. If that gas doesn't get released, they can bloat, essentially blow up like a big balloon, and that can kill them.
Vet Peter Murrish has the critical role of anaesthetising the calf and monitoring her vital signs. He has to ensure that Walnut's airways remain unobstructed.
Right, nicely asleep. We use an inflated tube and we keep their head low so that any saliva drains out to stop the calf from drowning. Fairly well settled at this end.
She's at a nice level.
Yep, she's doing well.
Yeah.
Breathing and happy.
Right for me to start?
Yep, go for it.
Yeah.
So I'm really at the moment just trying to make a few cuts just to get a bit of an outline about where we're trying to focus this operation and hopefully get in and around where this hernia is. So the key is now just to cut essentially around the hole, remove what's been sticking out and then stitch it back together. But the problem is it's been out for long enough now, it's starting to all stick together and everything's a bit inflamed. So breaking all this down is going to take a bit of work. I'm really focusing on trying to get through this surgery as quickly as possible, but each time I look over to Pete, he seems worried. And I know why he's worried. I can hear the sound that he's concerned about. That crackling sound could mean that Walnut is starting to have some fluid build up in the lungs.
There is now enormous pressure on Chris to remove the hernia and get Walnut off the operating table as soon as possible.
And there we have it. Okay, so looking around, I'm pretty happy we've managed to get rid of all the nasty tissue. We're only left with healthy stuff, so now it's time to close her up. That's the last of the stitches there. Ready to wake her up.
Fantastic.
As soon as the surgery's finished, the first priority is to try to lift Walnut up so we can try to drain any extra saliva out through her mouth.
She's quite dry there, so that's good.
Not much fluid coming out?
No.
So now she's going to come down onto a side, and from there we hope that she wakes up nice and quickly.
She'll sit up.
Walnut's woken up in world record time and seems like she's in a hurry to get back to the farm.
Good girl.
Well done.
Excellent.
Well done.
That's what we like.
Look at you go. That's what I like to see.
Absolutely.
Let's just check. Yep, stitches are still intact. That's really what I like to see.
That's the recovery. The city vet, he did very well.
All right. We'll see you back on the farm, okay? Good.
Walnut will go home with her owner Paul later this afternoon. But there's no rest for the Aussie vet. With his next patient, Caramel the duck, demanding his attention.
She's ripped her foot. It's the webbing that she's cut, and we show her, so it's quite vital that we try and get it to knit back together.
Can I just hear duck?
She was missing her train.
When I walk out into the waiting room, I see a lady trying to corral a duck into a cage. This one's not going to be straightforward. And who's this?
Caramel.
And what's the problem with Caramel?
She's caught her webbed foot
Oh, she has too.
in some wire.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent tear, isn't it?
Yeah. We show her, and it is quite important if something can be done with that. Otherwise, you know, we won't be able to show her anymore.
When you say you show her, she's a show girl? does the country show
Yes,
circuit?
she has. She's the best caramel call duck in Great Britain.
Really?
Yeah.
So how far off is her next show?
A month. That's the Royal Cornwall show.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
Repairing a tear in the webbing of a duck's feet is already enough of a challenge. Without this being a champion duck just 4 weeks away from the biggest show of the year, whew, this is a big ask. How do you feel about me using tissue glue to stick that wound back together?
Yeah.
My plan centres around the fact that almost every vet clinic has something called tissue glue. It's like medical super glue. It's normally used in complicated internal surgeries to stick organs back together. But in this situation, it could be spot on. The first step is I'm going to need to clean that wound there.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
When I look closely at the wound, it's already started to heal. And the fact is that scars pushed up against scars simply won't stick together. So I need to actually remove those by making tiny little cuts.
After a local anaesthetic, the radical procedure begins.
Okay, so we're going to now start to stick that foot back together.
Brilliant.
While my idea of doing this procedure on the stainless steel table should reduce the risk of me sticking her foot to the table, there is a flaw. If I get blood between her foot and the table, the glue will stick. I just want to make sure there's no blood on the
Underneath.
foot, because that glue only sets when it comes into contact with biological
Right.
materials. You're doing good. You are. So I'm just going to put some pressure on her toes just so she doesn't move those. The glue's finally looking like it has set, so it's time to inspect whether it's worked. So let's just very gently.
Not stuck to the table, is it?
There's a problem. The foot isn't moving off the table.
Stuck, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit stuck. I've managed to glue the British champion call duck's foot to a stainless steel table.
The one thing you don't want to do is stick a foot to the table, but I think we've managed to do that.
Thankfully, I'm confident I can unstick Caramel's foot from the table using the blunt end of a scalpel. I've never had to do this before. Just gonna slide that underneath it.
Okay, we're free.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. There's no gaps there. We've got the wound edges nice and stuck together. The key now is
Keeping it this way.
Yeah. Looks to me as if Chris has done a really good job, and fingers crossed the wound will knit back together and we'll fulfil the showing career with Caramel. Thank you very much.
All over to you.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. I expect a photo of a certain duck with a certain ribbon.
Colour is it? Hopefully a red one. Cheers, thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You could say this visit's all about catching up with Walnut, but you could also say that this visit's about checking her stitches have held. How are you?
All right, very good.
Good to see you.
Come and see the calf again.
Where is she?
Oh, she's here in the pen. You wouldn't know which one it is, would you? No, she's,
There's a lot of heads in troughs.
that's right. She's right back there.
It's been 48 hours since the operation to repair Walnut's hernia. Chris is back to see how Walnut is coping after her life-saving surgery.
Go on, Walnut. I think you've earned this. Come on.
The important test now is to see if she'll start eating.
It's all yours. It's all yours. No strings attached. No, nothing at all. Now there's a good sign. Walnut doesn't just look good today. The moment that head of hers goes into the bucket, you know, she's feeling a lot better too.
With Walnut concentrating on breakfast, Chris can get a close-up look at those stitches.
Well, there's a bit of relief there. All those stitches have held.
Yeah, that's right. It looks a very, nice, clean, smooth wound there, like, isn't it? And, a few days it'll heal out. Chris has definitely earned our approval. We're very happy with how it's gone and it looks very successful. So she'll have a good future with us on the farm.
All right.
It's great to see you here.
Thank you very much,
Right.
Paul.
Thanks a lot.
All the best with everything.
Right.
With Walnut on the mend, Chris is heading north for a few days to the picturesque countryside of Yorkshire.
My dad came and worked in Yorkshire back in the 1960s, and I've always felt compelled to follow that journey 50 years on. So here I am today, back where he started, in Midland. There are a couple of things that Midland does very well. One of them is history, which they have plenty of. The other one is horses. They've got over 600 racehorses here that train in the area.
Today, Chris is catching up with Ben Haslam, a leading trainer at Castle Hill Stables.
All right. Oh, yeah. Come on. How you doing? I met the guard dog. How are you?
Hi, Chris.
Hey,
How are you?
good to see you.
All right.
Good. So you're training a few this morning?
Yeah, we've got a few to go out. The weather's a little bit temperamental, but
I noticed.
yeah, it should be. It should be a good morning.
All right.
There have been racehorses trained in this area for over 200 years. And Chris is just in time to join the training session, heading out to the vast moors surrounding the town.
Pretty amazing when you think that the horses have been walking through these streets for, what, over 500 years. I mean, it used to be when they had knights on their back, and now it's just jockeys going to training.
Yeah, it's good. It's good practice for them walking through the town. It gets them used to cars, crowds, people. They get more confidence in new surroundings.
So what I see as just being a picturesque spectacle is actually part of the training.
Absolutely, yeah.
I guess it's almost a warm-up too.
Yeah, no, this is good. I mean, the hard surface as well that we're on, this helps the bones develop stronger.
Yeah.
Ben trains over 30 racehorses on the moors, but Chris is here to assess one special mare.
The horse we're particularly interested in today is one called Operator. Now, she's about 5 years old. She's been in training for about 6 months. She's had a few runs recently, but she's preparing for a big one in a couple of weeks. Today's really about making sure she's going to be ready for that.
Maintaining fitness.
I mean, that's a pretty good training run, though, when you're running up a slope into the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to feel that. So I guess the challenge now is to make sure she's feeling it, but I guess it's not too much of a test for her.
Exactly. She's got her head down, and that hill's really making her work.
Yeah. You can hear her blowing now. Yeah. Oh, I might have a bit of a look at her now. Okay. Yeah, about 180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's been a good test.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not through the roof, so
Yeah.
she's handled that. And yeah, she's breathing up, but there's no abnormal discharges there. She's not bleeding. It's pushed her, but at the same time she's handled it.
She's recovering quite quick, isn't
Yeah. You can see the blood vessels are nice and engorged, and she's got good circulation running through her skin there.
And does Chris think Operator is race ready?
Pretty good, mate.
Happy?
Yeah. It's what, 10 days?
10 days.
Race.
Yeah.
No, she's in good nick. She is going to go home sideways, though.
Yeah.
Coming up to the moors was a big part of why I wanted to come to Midland and to Yorkshire. It is a spectacular setting to watch an animal doing something truly amazing, like galloping up here, and to be able to help out Ben in some small way and assess where Operator's at. Yeah, it's special.
Chris has returned to Cornwall from Yorkshire and is heading to see Rachel at the Screech Owl Sanctuary.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched?
This place is a haven for dozens of sick and injured wild owls.
You're Rachel, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, how you going, Chris?
Nice to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Now, you've got an owl for me.
Yes. We've got this chap here called Boris.
Yep.
Boris is a Western Siberian eagle owl.
Big Boris is in serious trouble. His right eye isn't functioning properly. The keepers are worried because Boris is one of the sanctuary's longest residents and a star attraction.
He's sort of one of the founding owls of the sanctuary, and about 15 years ago he famously had a cataract operation, and it was actually the first ever owl cataract operation carried out in the world. So he's quite a celebrity. He's had lots of attention over the years, and we need to look after him. Yeah, come in.
Thank you. I'm guessing he's called Boris because the species is from Russia.
Absolutely,
is that right?
yeah. And we've got Nadia as well.
Chris needs to get a good look at Boris's right eye.
He's got these little sort of bumps of skin in his eyelid on his right eye, and we believe it might be a sort of scratchy feeling on his eye. It definitely seems to irritate him.
So we're going to catch him, don't we, and have a look?
Yeah. Now, do you fancy having a go at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Catching owls has to be done the right way, not just for their safety, but also your own. I mean, if I don't get those claws in the right way, then they can turn around and grab me, and that's not going to tickle.
But Chris has to win over Nadia before he can capture boyfriend Boris.
He's hiding behind his girlfriend now.
Excuse me, Boris, when you're using Nadia as your enforcer, what is going on? Nadia is a serious-looking woman. If there was ever a Bond villain that was an owl, it'd be Nadia. You're quite intimidating, Nadia. Look at you, all fluffed up.
Perhaps if you step to the left, Nadia might actually come down.
Look about that, huh? Look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? This hand here, yeah?
There we go, that's the way. Now you want to tip him down. That's the backwards, sorry, that's it. So we can get those wings in.
You fell for the old other hand trick, didn't you, Boris?
Yeah,
I thought you were better than that. Looking into Boris's eyes, you can see that he has these growths around his right eye, which are starting to really push across his eyeball. And also, the eye isn't comfortable. He blinks a lot, and he just doesn't look happy with it. Anyone that's ever had dirt or sand or even just an eyelash in their eye can tell you that it's incredibly uncomfortable. For Boris, though, this is a round-the-clock issue.
That little bubble you're worried about, that area in the corner of his eye,
Yep.
it doesn't seem to move. It's not like it's free floating or anything.
No.
I guess I don't want to muck around with this. Eyes are obviously incredibly important for owls, and I think if we can get him into the vet clinic, have a really good look underneath there to see what's actually happening, make sure there's nothing stuck, and then from there work out a plan.
Okay, yeah.
All right, big man, you and me, it's on tomorrow. You okay with that? You look excited. Little wink. I'll take that as a yes.
I think you've bonded now.
Yeah. He just, as long as he doesn't bond with me with those talons.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wearing something warm, and this is Fistral, but I do really get the impression I'm getting stitched up.
The next morning before Chris heads to the surgery, he's been asked to a local beach to meet Dawn and a group of girls from the vet clinic.
What is going on here?
Hi, Chris. So we just want to see how tough Chris can be in the water. It's pretty cold here, not like Australia, so we just want to see how he goes.
He's being challenged to a surf competition where catching waves doesn't matter.
So this is a surf competition where it's not about the points.
Yeah.
It's about how long.
How long you can stay in for.
Over the years, I've been lucky enough to surf in quite a few pretty good surf spots. But there's one thing about those they all have in common. Bondi, 22 degrees. Hawaii, 26-degree water. Fiji, 27 degrees. Today, Cornwall, 9 degrees.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When you get in the water here, immediately freezing. So we've got a great chance against Chris. I think he's going to lose.
At 9 degrees, lasting more than just a few minutes in this icy water is going to be a massive test. But the Poms, they're enjoying their day at the beach. After just 5 minutes, the Aussie is almost ready to give up. But he heads back out because he knows his reputation is on the line.
Not even wearing a full wetsuit, no booties. Just like a good game of Ashes cricket. Go through a lot of pain. I don't think I've ever been colder in my life. If that was a surfing competition, I scored a perfect 10 minutes. I think what hurts the most, apart from the cold, is the fact that when the girls get out, they're not even shivering. They're laughing, they're talking, they're reminiscing about the waves they caught. And there's me, shaking like a leaf.
So you got too cold, eh?
There's so much to say about how amazing you guys were out there, but I'm kind of too cold to say it. I think when you look at the fact that I'm not wearing a full wetsuit, I think we can safely call it a draw. This isn't shivering, this is just shaking with excitement.
Yeah, right. Chris thinks it's a draw. I think everyone can see that we won.
Let's never talk of this moment again.
Hello, Rachel. How are you?
You right there, Chris?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too. I'm sure Boris feels exactly the same way. I think this time apart is probably good for us.
Later that morning, Chris has thawed out from his surf, and keeper Rachel has arrived with Boris, the Siberian eagle owl.
The whole idea of getting Boris into the clinic today was to really run some tests and work out exactly what is happening with that eye. We still don't know exactly why those lumps have appeared and why that eye is so sore. I think that's something. Yep. Hello. Oh yes, it's me again.
The hissing that Boris does is bravado, basically. He's, especially when he sees Chris now, he associates him as a vet, I think. The hissing is basically just a warning.
Okay. All right. I think really the plan initially is to
try to give that eye a good flush.
Okay.
Make sure that nothing comes out from inside of it.
Yep.
It's starting to lift up those little growths that we can see.
Yeah.
We're going to lift up his eyelid and flush essentially under the eye with saline. Importantly, nothing comes out. So it's unlikely Boris has had anything stuck in that eye. What I want to do now is just check there's no scratches across his eyeball.
Chris is using a special dye that will help highlight any problem areas on Boris's eye.
The blinds have to come down, the lights have to go off, and I have to get a UV light onto that eye. You can see that there's an area that's really absorbed that stain
Yeah,
quite
definitely.
strongly.
Yeah, quite clearly.
He actually has a corneal ulcer.
Right. Which would explain the irritation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're sore. When that happens, it's very sore.
Right.
This is a big, raging, ugly ulcer, and it would hurt. You always really worry with ulcers simply because the lining of the eyeball is quite thin. It's already been eroded, it already has an infection. If it's left untreated, there is a chance that eyeball, it could burst. Got an eye that has an ulcer.
Yep.
It also has some pretty serious inflammation in the actual eyelid itself.
Yep.
At the Penmelon Clinic, a dye test has revealed what's causing Boris's painful eye condition.
There's one thing that really ties both of those together, and that is a conjunctivitis.
Okay.
So a serious eye infection,
Yeah.
and a chronic one as well. There's no doubt in my mind we need to hit that today with some pretty strong antibiotics.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident that with the right antibiotic ointment, we can actually fix it.
Brilliant.
My worry is that if I do nothing apart from treat this infection, then Boris is still going to have these lumps on his eyelid and they could still cause some sort of irritation. So they have to go. Now, I don't really want to put a 36-year-old bird under general anaesthetic. But what we can do is put some local anaesthetic into his eye
Okay.
and then burn them off
Right.
with him fully awake.
Okay. Chris is going to be using a highly powered cauterising tool within millimetres of Boris's eye, and obviously we don't want to make that ulcer any worse or cause any more damage. So yeah, I am a little bit nervous.
First, the anaesthetic drops have to go in. Then Boris has to be securely wrapped. Chris is using a cauteriser to burn off the excess skin.
I'm being incredibly careful to remove the lumps, but at the same time not damage Boris's eyelid, because that will hurt once the local anaesthetic wears off.
This one's a little bit more tricky. There's just one more in the corner here.
Yep. He didn't even flinch either.
No, he
which is
didn't.
Brilliant.
Okay, so it's going to feel a little bit gravelly.
Yeah.
You can imagine if you had a little scar on the inside of your eyelid, you'd feel it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's going to be on antibiotic drops.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a bit of a lubricant for that eye as well.
It's kind of funny that it's taken an Australian to fix a Russian bird in England, but hopefully now that he is fixed, his future is going to be a lot less complicated. Not that he's showing his appreciation. You're not thrilled with me, are you? As far as you're concerned, I can go right back to Australia right now.
Oh, yeah.
Seagull, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh!
You don't want to get your fingers too close to a seagull.
Don't do that back home unless it's a chip.
What are you doing? You will. You have to be a bit careful.
So what's next for me?
Well, the Cornwall Seal Sanctuary would like a vet to go and have a look at 2 seals that they have. They've been caught up in recent storms and they want to release them. And we wondered if you want to go down and have a look for them.
Just check out if they're ready to go.
Absolutely.
All right, I can do that.
All right.
If it gets me away from this one, I'm in for anything.
Yeah, just be careful as you turn.
All right, thank you.
See you later, Chris.
Okay, thanks.
A few months ago, this area got absolutely hammered by some pretty serious storms, and seals really bore the full brunt of it. So hopefully today we're going to see evidence they have recovered.
Chris is meeting with Jenny from the Cornish Seal Sanctuary. She's one of the carers helping nurse injured seals back to health.
So these storms were pretty full on, right?
Yeah, they were really bad. Pups just don't stand a chance, they're so small and they're trying to feed. Tides are really high and then the waves are getting really high.
They just become exhausted, do they?
Yeah, and then they're also getting bashed against rocks.
Which of the 2 we're hoping to release today?
The one at the back there, just bobbing up and down, that's Rose. And then this one here that's just laying out on the side of the pool, this is Mercury.
The 2 seals that I'm looking at today were both found on beaches, incredibly malnourished and on the brink of death. These guys were quite skinny when they first came in?
Yeah, they both were, yeah.
I mean, they look like they're put on a bit of condition.
Yes, they have, yeah. I mean, they need to be between 35 and 40 kilos before we can release them.
The plan now is to fully drain the pool so Chris can get a closer look at these 2 Atlantic grey seals.
They're very at home, swimming around in the sea and in the pool. So once you've got rid of that water, they do feel very vulnerable. So us going in there, they're going to get quite aggressive. Okay, let's go.
Everyone thinks that seals are all cute and cuddly, but they do sometimes have a darker side.
Watch your manners.
Chris and Jenny need to corral both Mercury and Rose into a cage for the all-important weigh-in.
See if we can get that one in the corner. There we go. Just close the lid.
Mercury is first on the scales.
Okay, put this bar in and then just kind of lift it up. She feels get big.
Good news. 51 kilos.
And the cage weighs 14, so 41, 37?
37 kilos.
That's good, bang on. Okay.
Now Mercury's done, it's time for Rose.
We need to
Get moving.
get a wiggle on. Good girl. There we go.
All right, let's get the weight.
Yep, 2, 3. Oh, she feels bigger as well.
54 kilos.
So she's 40 kilos. Good girl.
So she gets the tick as well.
She does.
Hear that? You're going home.
Chris and the team need to move fast.
Right now we're actually running out of time because we have to release these guys on a high tide. High tide has just passed.
We have to get to the beach as quick as we can.
Hold on tight, baby seals.
Bit of a bump here, guys. Hold on. Yeah. See? Been a wild ride, huh? Lucky you got that inbuilt padding.
In Cornwall, Chris has just given rescue seals Mercury and Rose a clean bill of health.
You can see their faces. They're just getting excited now.
And finally, after months of rehabilitation, it's time for them to be released back into the wild.
The really special thing for me is you look into those big eyes of theirs and they're suddenly wider than they ever have been before. Their nostrils are flaring. They know they're home and it looks like they can't wait to get in the water. This is the end of a pretty amazing journey.
But this is what it's all for, you know, all those long days and 6 o'clock starts and midnight feeds. This is it. This is the best part, to get them back out in the sea.
Are you ready to say goodbye?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. My job here is to essentially act as a bit of a human shield to try to stop them from going back up the beach. Sometimes they're a bit confused and they go the wrong way. Time to show off that new body. Can we hit the beach? What are you guys waiting for?
Making an assessment, aren't you?
You're a bit sensitive about showing off the beach body? Don't be, you look fantastic. When we open the trailer, there's a lot of looking around, a lot of looking at each other going, well, what do we do next?
Here she goes.
You're ready, aren't you?
Come on, babe.
You're more than ready.
Good girl.
Finally, they make the decision to go for it. And when they do, there's a whole lot of bouncing, a whole lot of sliding across the rocks. Finally, they make it to the water. That is amazing.
There you go. Both together.
I've only come into Mercury and Rose's life right at the end of their hospital stay, but even for me, to be here on this beach now and seeing them released, it still feels incredibly special to me. So I can't imagine how Jenny's feeling right now.
It's quite emotional.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's the whole reason that we do the job that we do, is to, you know, rescue them, make them better, and then get them back where they belong. And it just makes everything worthwhile, and it's where they should be. They should be back out in the wild. So to see them swimming around is amazing.
Little head popping up to say goodbye.
Yeah, little head. They don't always look back. Some of them look back.
You know it means something when they look back.
Yeah.
Incredible.
This makes it all worthwhile.
It's very special, thank you.
It's cool. Thank you for helping.
It's finish time. I'm out of here. So really, all there is for me to do is say my goodbyes. Owls, seals, cows.
Yep.
You know what the hardest thing of all was, though?
What's that?
Your cold water.
Thick wet seats, that's what you need.
No, more Cornish pasties.
Probably.
More padding.
It's what the rest of us do.
Seriously though, thank you.
No problem. We really enjoyed it. It's good having you here.
We'd happily have Chris back in Cornwall anytime.
If things don't work out in Bondi, I'll be straight back out of here.
Might hold you to it.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Chris.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
All right,
Thank you.
take care. Cheers.
Working in England, it had always been a big dream of mine. While calf surgery can be uplifting, you can't keep a good walnut down for long.
Excellent.
Boris the owl was sent from Russia with love and kept an eye on me constantly. You're not thrilled with me, are you? And show champion ducks
Doing good.
can put you in a sticky situation. But above all else, I learnt that the working life of a vet in England, it can send a shiver down your spine and grab you in ways you never expected.
This makes it all worthwhile.
I'm on an extra special mission today. I've received a call for help from a parent at a local Melbourne primary school. Now, she's actually made the SOS on behalf of the school principal who has a puppy that sounds like it's in quite serious trouble. So I'm heading there now to see if I can help.
Chris is on his way to the Our Lady of the Nativity Primary School in Melbourne's northwest. School principal Anne Doherty is waiting anxiously with her beloved 4-month-old puppy, Juno.
Hey Juju, how are you feeling? All the kids want to see you and they keep asking after you. I had to tell them, you're too tired today, just need a rest, hey?
I've had Juno since she was 8 weeks old, and I'd bring her up to school and the kids just loved her. Come lunchtime, there's a knock on the door and, you know, can we take Juno outside? And they loved it and she loved it too. But then as she got sicker, she just didn't have the energy to do that, although the knock would still come at the door.
In the last 3 weeks, little Juno has become gravely ill. She can't go outside and now spends most of her time sleeping in Anne's office.
In a short period of time, I noticed a lot of change in Juno. She didn't have any of the energy that you would expect a puppy to have, and then started vomiting, but her stomach was swelling at the same time. So they were signs to me that all was not right and we needed to investigate further.
Hello.
Oh, Chris.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Great to finally meet you.
It's great to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
Too, little miss. Look at you.
Yeah, this is our Juno.
Those eyes.
Oh no, they're something, aren't they? Hey Juno, this is Chris. He's come to say hello to you.
Normally when you first meet a puppy that's Juno's age, you get bowled over by their energy and their enthusiasm. And with Juno, it's just not happening. She looks thin, she looks like she's not thriving, she has that big belly. There's a lot to be worried about.
Every year I get a special job. I come up to Devil Ark and with the keepers, we trap the female devils, hoping to find the next generation.
Australian Reptile Park General Manager Tim Faulkner is on his way to Devil Ark, about 6 hours from Sydney. He's meeting up with Ark keepers Corey and Dean to see if their Tasmanian devil breeding program is working.
You got all the traps?
Ready to go for you.
Ready to go. Well, we're going to lose light soon, so let's get down there. I'm up here today because this time of year now is when we do our stock take. And what that means is we've gone through a breeding season, we've witnessed matings, but we haven't actually trapped the females and counted our joeys.
With devil facial tumour rapidly wiping out the species, a captive population is crucial to the devil's survival.
With no cure and no vaccine in the near future, it is very likely that we could see devils extinct, absent from the landscape in the wild in as little as 5 to 15 years. And that means the only devils that will exist will be in the captive population at places like Devil Ark. That's it. 4 females, but 15 traps. And I don't mean to scare you boys, but the traps need to be set properly. We need to catch them, and if we don't have joeys in the morning, we've got a problem.
And no pressure, Tim.
No pressure. Let's pick a spot, hey? Yep. I like this face along here, guys. I'm going to head down this way with this one.
Traps containing fresh meat will be left out overnight in the hope of luring the 4 adult female devils.
You right, Dino?
Yep, this one's good to go. I've got a really good feeling about it.
Oh, I hope you're right, mate. These little joeys, they're the future of the species. Devils only live for 6 years. They only breed 2 or 3 times in their life cycle. So you've got a really quick generational turnover. And if we miss a year of breeding and we don't get joeys, your whole population is non-existent. Last trap. You've done all the hard work, boys, so all we can do now is wait for the morning. Fingers crossed. It's going to be an uneasy night. This is pioneer conservation, and it's simply to ensure the future of the Tasmanian devil. It must work.
How long would you say she's been quite like this?
Probably noticed signs of it about the last 3 weeks before it reached that peak, that everything just started to go haywire with her.
And that's when you took her to the vet,
Yep.
had the blood test taken, had the x-ray taken?
Yes.
And at the moment, we're still trying to find our exact answer as to what's going on.
That's right, yeah.
Chris is in northwest Melbourne. His patient is the gravely ill 4-month-old Juno.
So if you look at her now, see what happens when I touch here?
Yep.
It bounces.
Flows, yeah.
So that's how we know what we have in there is fluid. Now, what I think we need to do is take a sample of that fluid and just run some very basic tests on it, because wherever that fluid's coming from,
it'll give you the clue.
I think is at the heart of this issue. So I'm going to put this needle into her belly and drain some fluid there.
Nice belly scratch. Oh, nice belly scratch. That's a girl.
So I know Juno has fluid in her belly. The key now is working out exactly what type of fluid it is. And you can see there's plenty of it.
Yes.
You can't look at that, can you?
Yeah, I'm not too good with needles. I'm just thinking how great she is, though. She's never flinched. Tough little staffy.
So look at that. It's very clear. So straight away, I can tell you, it's not coming from an infection in her belly, because otherwise it'd be pussy.
Okay.
It's not coming from a bleeding blood vessel. It'd be red or pink. Okay, so this is a special kind of fluid. If it has a lot of protein in it, it tells us something else. So, best way to tell if there's protein in fluid, shake it.
If the fluid changes consistency, it's a telltale sign there is protein in it.
Looks like it did before. So there's very little protein in that. This kind of fluid comes from blood vessels that are under pressure. We know that she's quiet, she's lethargic. We know she's not putting weight on. Now, there's one organ that controls all of these things. And there's one organ that, when it's under pressure, produces extra fluid. It's the liver. And my feeling is that over the last week or so, it started to lose the battle. And that's when you're starting to see the problem.
What's it going to do this? Sorry.
I really wanted to come in today and be able to give you a very simple explanation and a very...
I was hoping it would be.
The way I would like to work out exactly what's happening with her liver is by doing a CT scan. I'd love Juno to go and see Andrew Marchewski at SASH. What she has isn't simple. What she has, I hate to say it, isn't going to be easily fixed.
Look, I'll do whatever it takes. I need to. She's got to have a chance.
I'll be honest, what my gut says is that what Juno's facing here is serious. But at the same time, I hope like hell that when we do this CT scan, the result is a good one. Because when you look at how much Juno already means to Anne, it'd be heartbreaking if it's tough news.
This way. Here we go.
Denise from the animal rescue group Paws is bringing Denzel into the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH for an urgent examination.
Good boy. Denzel's a little Shih Tzu who's come from the pound, and he has got something going on with his eye. It appears to have hair coming out the middle of his cornea, and we really need to see exactly what's going on.
Denise is hoping emergency vet Dr. Lisa Chimes can find a solution so that little Denzel can be adopted into a new home.
We just want to get him right and get him into a new family so that he can start to enjoy his life. Oh, Lisa, he's got something wrong with his eye. Oh no. Looks a bit strange. Looks like it's got something growing out of it.
What do you think? You do too, sweetheart. I'm looking at Denzel's eye, and this poor little dog has got a piece of skin growing long hairs out of the surface of his eye. Now that part of the eye should be completely clear. So when I look at the eye, it's pretty obvious what he's got. He's got something called a dermoid cyst, and it's a developmental abnormality. Okay, so the skin has actually started growing on the eye, and that's happened from when he was an embryo.
Without treatment, the dermoid cyst could cause Denzel to go blind.
All right, so this is Mark. He's one of our ophthalmologists.
Very well, yourself?
Good, thank you.
Lisa is hoping ophthalmologist Dr. Mark Bilson can confirm just how severe the pup's problem is.
All right, let's have a look. I'm looking at Denzel's eye, and I can see that unfortunately the dermoid cyst is right on the cornea. There's already changes, and some of those changes are going to be permanent. Unfortunately, he's starting to get pigmentation of the cornea. If that keeps going on, it's going to blind the eye.
So what do we do?
So I'd recommend surgery.
Okay.
The good news is if we get in now and we take the lesion off now and remove the hairs and the source of irritation, then we can stop further damage. So we can maintain what vision he's got, and we may be able to also allow some healing and repair and improve the appearance.
You'll be right. And then you'll get a lovely new home.
If you're happy to go ahead, we'll take him through and we'll go ahead with surgery.
Denzel's already been through a lot in his life, and this is just another thing that he has to go through, but we hope that the result will be good, and then Denzel can go on and have a great life.
It's almost like she's showing off.
You're talking, hey?
Later that morning at Sash, Chris, Anne and sick little pup Juno have arrived from Melbourne.
Let's hope from here on in, everything's okay.
It's just a bit of a wait and see, isn't it?
Yes.
Chris suspects the staffy's liver isn't functioning properly, and he's hoping specialist surgeon Andrew Marchevsky will be able to confirm the exact reason why.
She's only 4 months old, and to be this sick, I've got to find the answers to really what's wrong with her.
That Juno?
Certainly is.
Okay, Chris.
Hello. Good to see you.
This is Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. Nice to meet you.
Of course. Hi. What's up? Hey.
She's clocked up some miles.
A few miles to get here?
Yep.
Well, come on in, we'll have a look.
Thanks, Andrew.
I know that Anne's very anxious right now, but I guess hearing what I had to say at the school probably brought home her biggest fears, and now she has to confront them.
What's going on? Had a big trip, didn't you? Okay. Juno's really skinny. Like, she literally is skin and bone, and she's got a big tummy. All right, well, I think that we'll get her in, just do the liver function test. And then I think we'll be looking at doing a CT.
We'll do whatever we can.
Andrew's plan really is going to be, first of all, get as much information as he can with a CT scan, and then try to map out some sort of path ahead.
Well, that's weird. I think what this is we've got an abnormal direct communication of an artery with the portal vein, or the veins within the liver, and they shouldn't join up at all. And what that is causing is a build-up of pressure in the liver, so it can't do its job properly. Her blood vessel plumbing is up the wahoo.
Probably the best way to explain what we're looking at is that if you consider the blood vessels inside a dog's belly to be like a road map, roads go one way, then come back the other, and the blood should do the same. Here, there's been no design. The roads are going in every single direction. We've got roundabouts where there should be intersections. There's very little that you can say is normal. How many have you seen?
Counting this one, one. Unless we can fix that, she's not going to live past, I don't know, she's not going to live into adulthood.
Just because that pressure is just too great.
Her liver will go and fail.
Yeah.
So we've got to stop that.
The only way of saving little Juno's life is with high-risk pioneer surgery. To give the pup the best chance, Andrew will need to assemble a specialist surgical team and schedule the operation for 2 days' time.
The risks of this surgery are really high. There's probably, if you want to be an optimist, 60% chance you'll get through. This is not going to be straightforward.
It's that complicated.
Yeah, this is really complex.
There's a few traps down.
There's a few up as well.
The plan, boys, Corey, you want to hit that left side?
Yep.
Bring him into the holding yard. Dino and I will get this side. And full traps on the right, empty traps on the left.
Cool.
Good luck.
At Devil Ark in Barrington Tops,
set off.
Tim and Rangers Corey and Dean are about to find out if they've lured any female devils into their traps.
We do everything we can to encourage the devils to breed, but there's an amount that has to be left up to the devils, and this is the chance we get to see if what we're doing is working. Let's lucky last.
Yeah.
And the moment of truth for you boys. 4 females, we could have 16 joeys or 0. Let's see if your hard work's paid off.
Make me feel nervous.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Nice and gentle. Good, beautiful. Corey, got that microchipper? There's the head. You got her?
0174. First one's Bella. She's 2 years old, this one.
Nice, quiet female. Just turn them gently into yourself. Mate, now just press apart that pouch very softly and have a look.
Oh wow, Tim, we got 4 joeys.
You see him, Corey?
Wow, they're amazing.
How big?
At least the size of your thumb.
Oh, good. Okay, so they're probably 60 days old. I can see that pouch and it looks nice and full. One peek inside and it's confirmed. She has joeys. How good is this? Number 2?
1 female down, 3 to go.
6077.
Tell us who you've got.
This one's Candace.
So, nice and easy, mate. She's a bit more fiery than Bella.
Yep.
With devil numbers dangerously low in the wild, it's crucial that every female at the Ark delivers a joey.
No joeys, boys. Yeah, she doesn't have any joeys to add to the tally. Now, that's really, really scary. If we don't breed devils and then reboot the species in the wild, there will be no devils left.
With the last devil not producing any joeys, the pressure for this girl to have babies is now greatly increased.
Okay, that's beautiful. Easy, girl. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, we got joeys.
Hey.
There you go. And there's another 2 on the inside.
I've never seen one so small before.
That's about 70 days old.
Wow.
We checked the 3rd female and there's joeys. 4 of them. Jackpot. This is our last girl, boys. 3 out of 4 would be a success story. Hey, hold still, please. You got 3 joeys, but they're tiny, smaller than a jelly bean. You got 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom.
Wow.
They're too small to see, maybe only a month old. What can you say?
It's a great job.
Speechless, Tim. It's outstanding.
A success story, hey? The final tally from this yard is 11 joeys from just 4 mums. See you later. The breeding season has been a success. It's a win for us and a win for the devil.
You're a good boy.
The next day at Sash, homeless dog Denzel is about to undergo surgery to remove a dermoid cyst which is damaging his eye. Ophthalmologist Dr. Mark Bilson has the tricky job of cutting the mass out and saving Denzel's eyesight.
The aim of today is to remove this abnormal lesion and make Denzel a happier boy, give him better prospects for the future in comfort and vision, and help Denise find him a good home. All right. So with surgery, the key things we're going to be thinking about is how thick that cornea is. It's only 1 millimetre thick, and hence we're going to be working under the microscope. And biggest thing we want to make sure we don't do is go into the eye inadvertently, so we don't want to puncture the eye.
It's an incredibly delicate task. Mark must now slowly dissect the cyst, gently removing it from the cornea.
Onto the sclera, which is the white part of the eye, and that is a lot more vascular, and that's why we're seeing more bleeding.
With blood flooding the eye, the risk of perforating the eyeball is now greatly increased. The next few minutes will be crucial.
So we've pretty much got the dermoid clear now. Just a couple more little snips. There's some... And there it is. There's our dermoid removed.
Mark must now place a contact lens over the eye and stitch the wound closed. Finally, with the last stitch in, The delicate surgery is finished.
All right. And when Denzel wakes up, he will certainly feel a little bit of pain from the surgery, but hopefully his view of the world's already a little bit improved.
Hello.
Very happy at this point. We'll see how he's going tomorrow.
Hello. Don't have to ask how you're feeling because it's written all over your face.
Oh, you know, it's supposed to be tough, you know?
Later that afternoon, Anne is back at Sash to admit little Juno in preparation for the life-saving surgery to fix her failing liver.
In the most simple terms, Juno essentially has a blood vessel directing blood where it shouldn't go. We need to be able to get in there tomorrow, block that off without causing major problems for the rest of her body. It's a simple explanation, but it has a very, very complicated solution.
This operation is so risky that the pup must be admitted 24 hours before the surgery so she can be monitored.
Chris, how are you, mate? Yeah, good to see you too. Oh, how you going?
I'm all right.
Yeah? Yeah. All right, well, let's go and find her a bed.
I think what makes this moment so hard for Anne is the fact that every step of the way she's been there for Juno, but now she does have to step away and let Juno rest up for the operation.
It's okay. Your mummy's only leaving you here because it's best.
For devoted owner Anne, saying goodbye is almost too much.
All right, you brave, Mum? No.
In terms of sleep tonight, there'll be about 8 hours, but I think it's 8 hours between all of us, Anne, Andrew and myself. There won't be a lot because tomorrow, it's a big day.
Don't you worry. There you go. The harsh reality is the risks of this surgery are really high. I mean, she's probably got a 30–40% chance of dying during the surgery. But if we do nothing, she's got a 100% chance of dying of this condition.
Oh, it's like pathetic.
It's not pathetic. Wake up.
I've got to hand her over, but yeah, it's hard. I want her back again too. You know, I want to see that face, that quirky eye, and yeah, just want her home.
Hi, Lise.
Hi.
It's looking pretty good, eh?
He is.
Hey, little man.
Did you need to have a look at him?
Let's have a quick look
Okay.
on the table, yeah.
The next morning at Sash, Lisa and ophthalmologist Dr. Mark Bilson are checking up on Denzel.
Hey, Denzel.
The little rescue dog had a dermoid cyst growing on his eye, and it had to be surgically removed before he went blind.
So I really like how he's got that eye nice and open. I've made the lid a little bit smaller, so just to give it some protection and help keep the contact lens in place. And it's comfy, it's looking good, it's looking good.
So he's ready to be picked up by Denise?
Yep, I'm ready to get him home.
And I think ready for a new owner, huh?
I hope someone's waiting.
Mark is really happy with his progress. He managed to cut that dermoid cyst off his eye and everything's looking really good now.
In reception, the pup's guardian angel Denise is waiting to be reunited with the tiny stray.
Hi.
Hello, how are you? How is Denzel? Hello. Oh my goodness, look at that eye. You handsome now or what? Denzel looks absolutely fantastic. He's happy, I'm happy, so, you know, it's all good.
So how's the search been going for a new owner? Any luck?
Well, as a matter of fact, Denzel has a new home.
Really?
Yes.
Denzel, that is amazing.
Denzel
Did you hear that?
Very excited.
You're going to a new home, buddy.
Yes.
All right, Denise, so that's it.
Thank you again.
So lovely to see you again.
Lovely to see you too.
Love the work that you do. Good
Thanks.
luck. Thanks, Denise.
Let's go, Denzel. Time to go home.
Little girl.
Put your brave face on, didn't you? And see.
Finally, it's time for courageous Juno's surgery.
You're looking all serious, aren't you? You've got to get through this.
Andrew Marchevsky and his specialist surgical team have the incredibly difficult task of trying to fix Juno's failing liver.
In Juno, we've elected to go non-invasively because if we try to open her up, she's got these huge, really delicate blood vessels that I fear if I go anywhere near them, they'll just burst open and she'll bleed to death.
A CT scan has confirmed the staffy has an abnormal artery connecting directly into a vein of her liver. This is causing a massive build-up of pressure. Unless Andrew can fix the problem, the pup will die.
The first thing we're doing here is just putting a catheter into the femoral artery so that we can feed a longer catheter up to near where the problem is, so we can inject some contrast so we can visualise it properly. You ready?
Yep.
So we're injecting the dye, we take some real-time x-rays, it's like a movie. We can actually see where these blood vessels are going and more importantly, where the bad one is. I think we need to advance that. Yeah, that's it. Next one. So I think this one coming towards us.
It looks pretty big. That's the one.
It looks pretty big, but that seems to be the one that's feeding the abnormality. The really tough part about this particular procedure is finding exactly the right branch of the artery that's causing the problem. That's what we're having difficulties with now. Is that it? No. Try it again. Is that it? Oh, yeah, no, hang on. That's it.
Okay. Zero. Are you in stop?
Stop. Ooh. Yeah, that's the one we're aiming for.
With the abnormal artery identified, it's now time for the next critical stage of Juno's surgery. Andrew must carefully insert a minute coil into the blood vessel to try and stop the flow of blood.
So this is actually a coil of wire in there, just straightened out, but when we push it out into the blood vessel, it will coil up into a tight little spring, and that's going to obstruct the vessel. I've got 20 centimetres. So we're just about to push this coil into that, and hopefully the right spot. There it is. There it is. There it is. Oh, so that's it.
There we go. We have a coil.
We're not relying only on the coil. We're relying on the body reacting to the coil and saying, oh, I don't like it, and putting a whole lot of blood clot around it and then forming a solid plug. It will be a solid plug in the end. And that's the body helping us out.
But the team can't relax. A crucial dye test will confirm if the coil has started doing its job.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go. Okay, stop.
Oh, it's a lot better.
It's certainly got rid of all that mishmash of vessels, and it's definitely in the right place. And I think if we try and do anything else now, we could potentially make things a lot worse. We might end up blocking off an artery we don't want to. So we're going to leave it as it is.
After more than 3 hours on the operating table, the surgery is finally over. But there are no guarantees that it has worked.
I've got to be honest, I think Juno's future is still a little uncertain. You know, everything's gone really well, but you know, we don't know how her liver is going to respond. That's the time will tell thing. I think she thinks she's ready to go out and play and be a normal dog, but I think we've got a little while to go.
She's trying to mount a strong case, isn't she?
Yeah. No.
At SASH, it's been less than 24 hours since the operation to try to repair Juno's failing liver, and Andrew and Chris are anxious to see how well the little pup is recovering.
Juno's looking remarkably good. I mean, we're less than a day after surgery and she's bouncing out of her skin, trying to chew out a catheter and wanting to go for a run. So, I mean, I'm really, really pleased with her. Come on, Juno. See you, Juno. We'll see you in a second.
It's going to make someone very happy, huh?
Juno's owner Anne hasn't seen her little girl since she underwent surgery.
I'm really looking forward to being able to give her a bit of a hug and twiddle those ears again. It'll be great. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Oh. Hello. Oh. Hello. Yes. Oh, that's a nice kiss.
I think that's how you say thank you.
Nice kiss. Oh, missed you. You've been a good girl.
Even though Juno looks like she can go home right now, the fact is that inside her body, some big changes have been made. We need to make sure that her liver and the other organs have adjusted to that.
It's just been a tough month. Look at her. Yeah, you're a good girl.
Despite her improvement, Juno still isn't out of the danger zone. But Anne is trying to stay positive.
She's come through the operation. Yes, there's a bit of a road ahead because the liver's now got to learn to function properly. But yeah, we're in a good place at the moment, and hopefully she'll be in the car back to Melbourne before I know it.
Going to see your new mummy.
While Juno continues to recover at SASH, Denzel is about to begin the next phase of his life.
Who lives here? Hello. Hi, Denzel. Hi, Denise. Oh, your new home, little Denzel.
The rescue pup has found a new home.
I feel particularly happy for Denzel today. He's had his surgery, you know, he's a healthy dog. He came to us in pretty bad condition, as a lot of our dogs do, but we've been able to fix him all up, and the piece de resistance is that he has this wonderful home to go to.
Good boy. It's nice to be able to give a dog that probably didn't have a lot of hope a new home, and he'll be loved.
You're going to love living here, Denzel. It's a great home, and you've got Anne all to yourself. She will spoil you very much, won't she?
We'll be able to take him for walks, and we could go to the beach, and he would sit and watch TV with me, and it'd be nice to have a little bit of company. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, you gorgeous kid. Aren't you? Gorgeous boy.
5 weeks later, and there's some devastating news about 4-month-old Juno. Although she survived the surgery to repair her failing liver, the courageous pup developed a serious setback and required further surgery. Despite a brave battle, sadly, she didn't make it.
It is very heartbreaking. But I remember when I was searching for her, I thought if I was meant to get the dog, I got. And I firmly believe that for some reason she chose me and I chose her. She's probably taught me a lot in a short time too about what it is to really love a little creature that depends so much on you, but then get so much back from her as well. I can't imagine life without her.
You're the best girl. Yes, you are. You know that, don't you? Hey? Number one girl.
There's no doubt the last few days have been incredibly hard, but the fact is that the pain, it doesn't go away. All you can do is try to keep yourself busy. And quite fortuitously, I've had a call from some special girls who happen to have an old friend of mine who might just be ready to go home. So that's where I'm heading now.
After a very emotional week, Chris has arrived in Queensland to meet up with Bridget and Paula, who run the 20s Pelican Rehabilitation Centre.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
Good.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Now just watch your head in here.
Oh, it's not really made for me, is it?
No.
It's more pelicans.
Yes, and for short people.
Now, I can recognise it straight away.
Yes.
She's a small one, right?
Yes. Can you remember Chris, Johnny?
I think she does.
Last year, Chris helped save Johnny's life.
That problem there is pretty visible, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
The pelican's air sac was torn during a fight and surgery was needed to repair the damage.
Here we go.
It's now been over a year since Johnny had her operation. It should have been enough time for her to regain some condition, regain some strength and get to the stage where she can be released. Today is all about making sure that's going to be possible. Okay.
Remember this place, Johnny? You haven't been in here for a while.
So you've been trying to spend not too much time with her?
No, we get in, we clean of a morning and then of an afternoon feed.
So when she goes back to the wild, she knows she's a pelican, not a human?
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's have a look over here. So her heart sounds good.
That's good.
This is obviously where the problem was before.
Yes.
But when she really stretches out, that neck of hers,
Perfect.
it's a proper pelican neck, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So, checked her out from beak tip to tail tip.
Yes.
I think she's clear for takeoff.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah?
Yes.
Looking over Johnny, I just can't fault her. I've got no doubt she's going to be right to fly. Big question is, are the 20s ready to let go? How's she feeling, do you know?
I think she's roaring to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny. Hello, Johnny.
Later that afternoon, Chris and the pelican twins, Bridget and Paula, have arrived at 1770, a coastal town in tropical Queensland. This stunning peninsula will hopefully become Johnny's new home.
The great thing about this spot here at 1770 is that it's kind of like pelican paradise. You've got waterways absolutely full of fish and sandbars, so a nice mix of areas that the pelicans can live in. You guys organised this?
Yes, with Neil.
Of course. How are you? How you going, Neil? Chris. Good to meet you. You're the pelican courier.
It looks that way.
Yeah.
I'll be her minder for a little while too, I think.
All right, should we load up?
Yes.
This whole release has been planned like a military operation by the 20s, so it kind of makes sense that we're going to travel in a military vehicle to release Johnny, an army duck.
Chris and the team are now heading to a nearby sandbar where a colony of pelicans are living.
One thing's for sure, the 20s wouldn't release Johnny just anywhere. They would have been researching for the last couple of months non-stop to find the perfect spot, and it's here.
Here's Johnny.
Thanks, mate.
Good on you, Chris.
Cheers, Neil. Mate, thanks for that, buddy.
All of a sudden, the prospect of saying goodbye to beloved Johnny is too much. The twins have hand-reared her since she was just 2 weeks old.
Our hearts are pounding and we know this was going to be our last time that we'll able to handle her and probably not to see her for a long time. Good luck, kiss. Yes, and you've been a little brat, but you've ended up being a beautiful pelican. But look, you're back out here in the wild where you belong. Thanks to Dr. Chris. Because you wouldn't have been here if Dr. Chris didn't operate on you.
No.
So Dr. Chris better give her a kiss too.
You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these two very special girls. You know that, don't you?
It's got to be a massive moment for the girls. They have put in over 14 months worth of work to make sure Johnny has this day and then many more days to come. Stretch those wings.
Good girl. Good girl. Oh, they love her.
She's just blended right in.
So well. We're feeling over the moon and we know that she has made this home and I think we've made the right choice of bringing her here. Good girl. Good girl.
So well done.
Yes, yeah, well done to you, Dr. Chris. We appreciate it so much.
I'm so happy for you guys. I know that's meant a lot. That really is the end of what's been a pretty remarkable journey for me, the 20s, and of course Johnny. But
kind of feels like more than that. It feels like a really important reminder that no matter the odds, you've always got to take a chance. You've always got to try. You've always got to put that love on the line, because if you don't, you never know exactly whose life you might change.
She loves it here.
She's got a new family now.
Yes, right.
Normally when you get a call from the Animal Welfare League, you're thinking it's going to be about a dog or a cat, but Alan from the AWL has just called me because he's worried about a small horse with a lump on the side of its face.
Chris has been called to the Animal Welfare League in West Hoxton, outside of Sydney.
Oh, boys.
Shelter manager Alan Norris is caring for 2 surrendered miniature horses.
How you going?
Hi.
Alan, isn't it? Yeah.
Chris, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Thanks for coming.
Using the bucket to offset the arrival of the vet, are you?
Yeah, I'll keep him nice and close.
Hey guys, how are you?
One of the horses is in need of serious veterinary attention.
So which one's Charlie?
Charlie's a little white one there.
Yeah.
And this is Magic Mike.
How did you end up having Charlie here?
A pair of these came in together from an inspector seizure where someone couldn't care for him, and he's got a number of issues ongoing. We called Chris in today because Charlie has difficulty eating and he has a large lump on the left-hand side of his mouth.
Thank you. Hey Charlie. Hey buddy. There are a few problems there. I can see the feet straight away. So was Charlie essentially a cruelty case? Is that why he was brought in?
Charlie's more like a neglect case. He was left in a paddock. The grass was quite long, so no one was monitoring his feet. So that's the reason he was picked up and brought to the Animal Welfare League by the inspectorate.
Having a tough time with that.
Yeah, he's been treated by a farrier for the feet, so the feet aren't the issue at the moment. At the moment, we've got something going on with his teeth.
Yeah. While the hooves are hard to ignore, the real reason why I am here is also pretty obvious. You look at his mouth and he does have a big swelling on that left-hand side, and apparently he's also having trouble eating.
We noticed when he was dropping food at the corner of his mouth instead of maintaining it, and then this lump appeared.
Charlie's years of neglect have made him difficult to approach in the open.
Oh, the best chance is to get him in the stable. Yeah. He's quite comfortable in the stable.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
The 2 rescue horses are inseparable.
Easy, guys.
Good boys.
We're good.
Chris will have to win over the dominant Magic Mike before he can get close to Charlie.
It's okay. Magic Mike runs the show. He may only be a bit over 2 foot tall, but he's the boss. It's okay. It's okay. You see that open door there? It's good, doesn't it? Hey, it's okay. It's all right, guys. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's all right.
They'll settle down, they'll go straight through.
Eventually, the skittish horses seem to be calming down.
That is the ticket right there.
Really? Shall we try again?
Boy, it's low. Yeah. I'm used to this being underwater.
At a small river 240 kilometres southwest of the Australian Reptile Park, General Manager Tim Faulkner and 3 of the park keepers are on a very important mission.
This little river is home to a great population of platypus, and we come here to monitor that population, make sure it's healthy.
A harsh drought has caused the river level to drop to an all-time low. To understand how the little Aussies are coping with the dry conditions, Tim and the boys have no choice but to get wet.
There is nothing easy about catching platypus. They swim under the water, they're nocturnal. We've got to set a net across the river. Now, that in itself is tricky because we need to find where there's no snags, find a perfectly straight run, a deep hole of water, wait for it to get dark, and the platypus are going to swim in. And just keep your eyes on the water, boys. That's it. It might get a little bit dry, hey?
Catching a platypus is an extremely dangerous job.
Platypus are venomous. They have spurs on their back legs on the inner thigh. Now, what happens when that gets put into a human is that is one of the most painful stings on Earth. There is no known pain treatment. People in hospital actually ask for their hands to be cut off. It can last for days, weeks, or months. Adding to the pressure, it's the first plat catch for Tim's 3 rookies, Mike,
Andrew and Mick.
In all honesty, I've got no idea what's going to happen tonight. You know, Tim's been here many times before, and us three newbies will definitely be taking direction from him and trying to ensure that we do everything right.
Even though they don't expect to catch the nocturnal mammal until later, the boys are on alert.
All we can do now is just wait, and we'll never take our eyes off that net. The danger is that if a plaque gets in there and we're not looking, it'll drown underwater. We will not let that happen.
Hey guys, hey, slow down. Slow down, such a hurry, come on.
It's all new and exciting.
I know, oh, they're having fun.
At the animal welfare shelter, Chris and Alan are attempting to corral wary rescue horses Charlie and his pal Magic Mike.
It's okay, it's okay.
Charlie has a problem inside his mouth that requires urgent attention.
I think they've been together for quite a long time, maybe neglected and haven't had a great deal of interaction with people. So any of that interaction, Magic Mike comes in to protect him. Just stand still.
Easy guys.
Okay, comes Mike.
There you go. Well done. See? You get your food.
Good boys.
He's actually okay now.
Yeah.
Now that he's...
Can you see the swelling on the side there?
Yeah, we'll walk him outside where there's a bit more light, where we can actually have a good look at that.
Good boy. Come in.
Sure. Slowly does it, mate. There we go.
Good boy. Well, I'm hoping Chris can get to the bottom of what this swelling is. Whether it's a quick fix or it's a major job, we don't know. We just need to make sure we can make him more comfortable eating and maintain his health.
And out in the light now, you can really see this swelling here. To see a swelling that big in the side of a horse's mouth, you'd immediately think something like an abscess. Feeling around it though, it's soft and you can push your finger into it, which doesn't really make sense. What I'm going to have to do here is open up his mouth and get right in there and have a look. I'm really just looking for any areas that are going to be sore. Okay, it's all right. Finally, I get a good chance to actually have a look inside Charlie's mouth, and not surprisingly, he's not happy about it. The moment I get his mouth wide open and feel with my own fingers, I can sense something that shouldn't be there. So what's really interesting is that this side is fine. When I put my fingers inside his mouth there's no discomfort there at all. In fact, he doesn't mind it. Go to this side though, and all of a sudden, my fingers hit sharp points. He starts to pull away because basically these teeth over here have worn in an uneven way. They've produced sharp points, and these sharp points are actually starting to stick into his gums. Feeling these sharp points, they hurt my fingers. You can only imagine what they're doing to the inside of his gums. So that really explains why he's dropping his food and why he's having difficulty eating. He's going to need an equine dentist to come in and smooth off these teeth so they're no longer sticking into the side of his mouth. Because if nothing's done, he's going to get more swelling, he's going to get more pain, he's going to get more infection. Feeling how sharp these teeth are, they must be a huge source of pain for Charlie. Every day, eating must be a nightmare. They need to be sorted out right now.
You're not feeling good at all. It's okay. It's all right, you know.
Little Jack Russell pup Scout has been rushed into the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH after becoming ill and collapsing at home.
This little dog's only 3 months old. He's been wobbly in his back legs, he's groaning, he's had some vomiting. I'm really worried that he's got a tick.
It was devoted dog sitter Kathleen who brought Scout in, convinced he's suffering from tick paralysis.
We're looking after these two puppies, Scout and Bella, and we got home and there was clearly something wrong with Scout. So we phoned SASH, we rushed over here and they're busy looking after him at the moment, so we'll see what they're going to say.
It's okay. Something is seriously wrong here. His voice is paralysed and he's really swollen around his mouth. Hey buddy. I don't like how you're making that noise.
It appears that poison from a tick has already begun shutting down little Scout's system. It's now a race against time to find the tick before it begins paralysing his breathing muscles.
Where is the tick? Where is your tick, buddy? Every minute that we wait, it's injecting a lethal toxin into his system, causing this paralysis. We need to get it out of him and treat him as soon as we can. Okay. Oh, here it is. All right, buddy, we found it now. That's okay. It's right around his lip. There we go. Oh, sweetheart. So we've taken the tick off Scout, but the treatment is nowhere near over yet. Now we need to sedate him, keep him as calm as possible, give him some life-saving tick anti-serum, and hope like hell that he doesn't deteriorate.
Hey, Gary.
Good, thanks, mate. How you doing?
Good to see you, buddy.
Long time no see.
Mate, thanks for this.
Not at all.
He's going to appreciate it.
Chris has called equine dentist Gary Lay to join him at the animal welfare shelter to work on Charlie's teeth.
So, we think he's about 20.
Okay.
And I can just feel some discomfort on that near side.
Yep.
And so, I'd love for you to have a look and just see with your gear what's actually going on at the back there.
Okay.
I've called Gary in because he's a genius when it comes to horse teeth. Doesn't like his belly being rubbed.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
The key with Charlie right now is just to be very gentle, very calm, and a sedation will also help.
You like a bit of the old neck massage, don't you? Good boy. Here we go. His head's dropping a bit.
It's more like it, isn't it?
Much more manageable.
Yeah. The issue you're always battling with a horse's mouth is just a lack of space, and with Charlie, it's even more so.
Open up, young man.
Dramatic set of braces.
Yeah. That's good. All right.
So by putting him in, first of all, a dental gag and then a bit of a harness, you can actually open up that space and also get the best angle to have a good look inside there. It's dramatic, but it should work.
This is the area I was worried about, just up alongside there. Yeah. Now, I reckon I can see those sharp points that I was feeling. So you can see on the mirror there, he's got ulcerations on the side of his cheek.
Yep. So he's just not wearing those teeth in a normal way.
Yeah. And
which is a common problem with these guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their teeth are really too big for their head.
Yeah, they're bred to have smaller heads, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you can have a look here, how sharp that is. So that's just going to dig into the side of his cheek every time he chews.
No, he wasn't giving too much away, just a little bit of soreness, a bit of food impaction, and just you can just feel those sharp points.
Yeah.
So he's got hooks, he's got sharp points, he's got uneven wear, and he's got ulcers.
Yeah.
But for a small mouth, he's got a lot going on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Now I can finally see what's happening. It's quite dramatic.
At Sash, the poison from a deadly paralysis tick is shutting down little Scout's system.
It's okay. All right. The worst is done.
It's now a race against the clock to get the tick anti-serum into him before he is completely paralysed.
We are under the pump here. We've got to get this into him really quickly because if we delay it any longer, he can get worse and fast. It's all right. Hold on. Scout's had his tick anti-serum, and next we need to shave off all his hair to make sure that there are no other ticks hiding there, and then we'll give him a spray with a tick treatment just to be safe.
He's a brave puppy. You're all right. Good boy. Sorry, Scouter, we've just got to make sure you've got no ticks left. I know you're sick of it. You're being very patient. Just got to make sure we've got them all so you're not going to get any more sick.
Suddenly, the nurses discover 2 more ticks burrowed deep within Scout's skin.
That looks like a baby tick. Just right there on his belly. Oh, sweetheart.
The poison from one paralysis tick is enough to kill this tiny puppy. With 3 ticks, Scout is now in serious trouble.
Scout is really anxious and distressed. The most important thing I can do now is sedate him, keep him as calm as possible, because if he stresses out and panics, he's at risk of aspirating, obstructing, and that is life-threatening.
Devoted dog sitter Kathleen and her 3 children are allowed in to see the sick pup.
I feel really sorry for Kathleen. I can't guarantee 100% that he's going to survive. He could deteriorate in the next 24 to 48 hours, and all I can do is hope that it doesn't happen.
Sharp points, he's got uneven wear, and he's got ulcers.
Yeah.
But for a small mouth, he's got a lot going on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Is it a filing that we need to do there?
Yeah. We'll get the power float out and we'll take that down.
At the Animal Welfare League shelter in West Hoxton, Chris and equine dentist Gary Lay have a radical technique to tackle Charlie's dangerously sharp teeth.
Good boy.
Charlie's teeth are so big, power tools are the only things tough enough for the job.
Very little room in his mouth.
In years gone by, this job had to be done with steel files. They were cumbersome, they were tricky, and they always ran the risk of actually digging into the horse's mouth and causing pain. Using this equipment, it's a whole lot better.
Just work your way down. You're doing pretty well there. That's just bit by bit, that's the most you want there. Probably take it down about 1 to 2 mils maximum now.
Really, if there's one problem with a file like this, it's the fact that it's so effective and so efficient. You can actually file down too much of the horse's tooth and also cause heat to build up, which can actually burn the tooth. So you have to go slowly, but be measured in what you do.
All right, I'm pretty happy with that, mate.
Let's have a look, eh? That's the offending tooth there.
Yeah.
So you've taken that very nicely. You're much more comfortable now. Much nicer on his soft tissue in his mouth. You know, his tongue's not going to be in pain. His cheeks aren't going to be getting pinched and scraped.
Even though Charlie's not coming out of this with a bright white smile, the result is actually fantastic. We've managed to remove all those sharp points. Given a few days' time, that mouth will heal up beautifully and he'll be eating perfectly.
He's been a good little boy.
He has, actually. You've bravely kept your eyes shut for most of it. It's been good though, mate. It's been very good.
With the dental procedure out of the way, it's time to remove the harness and test out Charlie's smooth teeth.
End result, perfect. Very happy with the end result. He'll be a much happier little pony now.
It's early stages, but you can see that he's already starting to have a bit of a think about food.
We're feeling a lot better very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's already been through so much in his life that hopefully this will be just a small hurdle for him.
It's fantastic.
So maybe Charlie's going to get his head around eating a lot quicker than we thought. His head's in the bucket and he couldn't be happier. He's going to take a few days to get faith back in those teeth of his and know that it's not going to hurt him to eat. But I reckon within a little while, he's going to be wanting to eat as much as Magic Mike does.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no worries.
Cheers.
We just gotta wait, they'll turn up.
At a small river west of Sydney, night has fallen and Tim and the team are on alert.
Well, I mean, there's been splashes and stuff, so...
The boys have laid out nets in the hope of catching the elusive platypus. Tim is worried a harsh drought is taking its toll on the much-loved Aussie icon, and he wants to make sure the plats in this river are healthy.
Something's swimming there. Something's swimming there right now.
Suddenly, there's movement in the water.
Once we catch a plat and the buoy's going up and down, there's no easy way of doing it. In the river we go, all of us. Scissors, lights, gloves. Yeah. Okay, keep an eye on the rest of that net, Nico. Got to get that plat out of the net quickly, above the water, and then bring it out. I mean, it's possible that a plat trapped underwater can drown.
It's our first plat.
It's a big female. Now, the first thing we check is always, are there spurs? Females don't have spurs. Look at that. Have you ever seen anything as beautiful as that? Hello. Okay, Nicky, got a bag there, mate? The female now goes in a bag on some grass in a box. Now we do that because we can't get the data from her now and release her because we'll catch her over and over again. We don't want to put her through that. That's it, mate. Close it up. Now, do you want to just take her a couple of metres up there where she's nice and quiet? That's it. We'll get ready.
It's not long before the boys are back in the water. This plaque is putting up
One more.
Should have him. Should have him. Okay, one leg.
That's it.
I knew we'd get a big male. There's always one, a territorial male. As soon as you see it in the net, you can see it is massive. Look at this. How big is that? But how good is that to get something of this size, this age? This is a big male platypus. And those spurs right there are one of the most painful stings on earth. You take him, mate. You got him? You did well out in the water there. Good.
Yeah,
got him?
Good, I'm good.
Right, mate. 1, 2, 3, in. Beauty. Let's go and sit down and wait for another one, hey?
With 2 successful catches, the boys wait in anticipation for another platypus. But as the night draws on, Tim is growing increasingly concerned by the lack of movement in the river. He fears the drought has affected the platypus population.
It's been a long time now and there's still no plats. But been around long enough to know that patience will normally pay off. But I'm getting nervous.
Just got to keep waiting, mate. Be patient, it'll happen.
Got something?
I'm not sure. No, maybe a fish. Maybe nothing.
False.
False alarm. It's hard, isn't it? You want the net to go.
We've been waiting a long time. This is not what I'd hoped for. I had hoped that we'd just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plats in a row.
After another silent hour, suddenly Mick spots something.
Something in the net, guys.
It's another plat, and this feisty Aussie takes an instant dislike to rookie Mike.
Now, female plats don't have the venomous spurs like the males, but they've got a trick up their sleeve I've never seen before, and that was she had an amount of poo in there that when we caught her, squirted right out in Mike's face. Good on you, darling.
One of the more unpleasant things I've ever had to deal with. Yeah, I might just go get washed up.
Something in the net, guys. Might be a plat.
Before they have a chance to pull in the nets, there's some unanticipated action.
Just when we thought that the night was over, we got another plat. Another male. Big male. He's heavy too. How's that bag, mate? Right in the bag? Yep, good on you, mate. The plats put up a fight. I mean, it's a little frightening for them, so they defend. And as soon as you put your hand near those spurs, they know it, and they just rake backwards. They're incredibly strong. Just really got to be careful, and it's just safe to use gloves.
Okay, you're nice and cozy there. We're going to get you feeling a lot better, sweetness.
At Sash, Lisa's worst fears are realised. Tiny tick victim Scout is in the oxygen chamber, fighting for his life.
Scout's taken a turn for the worse. He's developed breathing problems. He's now in the oxygen cage, heavily sedated. I was hoping that it wouldn't go down this path, but it might just be a sign that we've caught him too late.
All that Lisa can do now is hope and pray that Scout can find the strength to pull through.
I'm just really upset that he got to this point. He's such a tiny little puppy, and now his life is really hanging in the balance.
Have a little rest now, honey. It's a good boy. Have a little rest.
Physical condition is
beautiful.
is just great.
Yeah.
The next thing we've got to do is collect the data, establish how old they are, how much they weigh, and gain some measurements, just get a better understanding of the plats here.
Way out west of Sydney, Tim has caught 4 platypuses.
Lovely. That's what we wanted.
A thorough health check will determine if the relentless drought is taking its toll on these delicate Aussie icons.
We're looking here for the bend in the tail, and it's an indicator that's fat storage. So it's telling us what type of condition the plat's in. So, I mean, I don't think that the plat's necessarily too overweight. I mean, I'd probably give that a 3.5.
It's a good score for this female platypus. A ranking of 2 or below would mean these unique animals may be struggling to survive.
Total length. 450 to the dot. 45 centimetres.
With the older female given the all clear, it's time to check the youngest catch.
Yeah, she's calm. Okay, 4'4", smaller than the last. Catching a juvenile is everything because it means that everything is moving forward. The next generation is here. We're pretty lucky to see you, aren't we? We're pretty lucky to see you. Now we've handled the girls, got a bit of practice. It's the gloves on, extra precautions. Look at that. I mean, the girls are cute, but that's pretty impressive, hey? And let's sit him down, Mike, you on the tail?
Yep. That's just a different feeling animal.
Big,
Yeah.
yeah? Strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the thing to check for us is the spurs. Hey, there's venom on the end of that spur. This big boy, he's ready to unleash that venom. I look down at the spur and there's droplets of venom just seeping off the end. I think it's hard to say how old he is, perhaps 5, 6, perhaps 9, 10. I mean, we know that he's mature. I think we're gonna have to leave it at that with him.
He's the king, though.
He's the king.
Yeah.
That was good. 4 plats, all different ages and sizes. Main thing is they're all healthy, that's brilliant. We even got a young plat that says this whole system is ticking over. Now for the special part, letting them go. There you go, buddy. That was a good release, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First wild plat.
Yeah. Off you go, sweetheart. They're calm, hey?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're settled.
She knows where she is. Okay, when you're ready, mate. How good's that?
Absolutely gorgeous.
That was the big boy, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time for the final release. Although this grumpy girl gave Mike a hard time earlier in the night,
Unbelievable.
it seems that the rookie holds no grudges.
It's your special little girl?
That's my special little girl, yeah. Time to go. See you later. Coming down here tonight and seeing the plats in the wild, I think has been beyond all of my expectations. I'm wrapped. It was just unreal.
She knows where she is. That was a good night.
Mate, that's got to be one of the highlights of my life, I reckon.
Good. Same time next year?
So yeah, unreal. I'm here.
How you going? It's Chad, isn't it?
Yes, it is. G'day, Chris.
How are you, mate? Good to see you. Got a good one for me today, huh?
I've got an interesting one for you, yeah, a death adder.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The following morning, Chris is at Featherdale Wildlife Park in Sydney's west. He's answering a call for help from the park's senior curator, Chad Staples.
So we called Chris in today basically to help us solve a bit of a mystery. Fifi, our death adder, has a very obvious swelling in an interesting part of her body. Although you always hope for the best, I'm a little concerned about it. This is her, Fifi.
Wow. She's either really let herself go or there's something that's going on. Death adders are renowned for being quite short and almost stumpy snakes, but the moment I look at her, I can tell straight away, yeah, there's a problem here. Has she been quite active or?
No, and I mean, you know what death adders are like. They're the lure hunters. So she's not active, but she's off of food.
Okay.
And so the fact that she's still swollen was, like I said, a bit of an alarm bell for me because she loves her mice.
How long since the last mouse?
3 weeks. Okay. So a considerable amount of time. Like she should have passed everything that she's had.
Yeah. There are a few reasons to be worried, I guess, and certainly If she is suffering some sort of indigestion or impaction, then it would explain it.
Yep.
The location of the swelling, that's I guess a little bit interesting because
it's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that's not really where we'd expect to see mice that have stayed undigested.
Yep. Honestly, my worst fear now with Fifi is that this swelling is some sort of blockage, whether it be digestive or some sort of gas. It's concerning because of where it is and how big it is, and the fact that it really hasn't dissipated in the last 3 weeks when she also hasn't eaten.
Fifi needs an urgent examination, but getting close to this snake is extremely dangerous.
We're going to have to get in there and have a look, aren't we?
Absolutely.
What are we talking about? What, the 8th most venomous snake in the world?
Yep, she's definitely top 10, the death adders. Yep.
When this is the 8th most venomous snake in the world with the fastest strike of any snake, you've got to be on your toes.
Hey. You're looking better. Hey, buddy. Who's feeling better? Yes, hello. Hello.
At Sash, little Scout has made an amazing recovery after being bitten by a deadly paralysis tick.
As soon as I lay eyes on little Scout, I can straight away see that his demeanour has completely changed. That little tail is wagging 1,000 miles an hour. He wants to play, and that's how a puppy should be. Oh, you're a cutie pie. I think you're feeling better. Yeah, not eating my finger. What about some real food? The final test in his recovery is to see whether or not he can eat. Wait, look what I've got. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Scout's doing so much better. He's full of energy and has now just eaten a full bowl of food with no problem. So I think he's ready to go home.
No one is happier about the 3-month-old's recovery than his anxious babysitter Kathleen, who's waiting in reception with Scout's sister Bella.
When I heard the news, I just felt a wave of relief. This little beautiful thing is fine. He's young, he's 3 months old, he's full of vitality. Thank goodness.
Let's go. Come on.
Ah, look at him. And he's better. Hey, look at them. They're saying hi. Hey, you survived. You're okay. I can't believe it.
Very close at one stage.
Hey?
I didn't know if he was going to even pull through, so...
Yeah, I was very worried. And here he is, himself.
Even though Kathleen and the family are not their real owners, the thought of them losing Scout would have been absolutely terrifying, and they are so excited to have him back in their arms.
Here we go, a happy couple.
You guys ready to look after them?
Yes.
Especially this one. Now, you're a handful. You be good.
Can you see?
And be nice to your sister, please. The amazing thing here is that when Scout's owners left him to go overseas, he was healthy. And when they get home, he'll be healthy too. It's like none of this ever happened.
Push, push. Okay, let's go home.
See you later.
Okay.
Good luck. Bye.
It's just full of...
Here she is.
Behind lock and key.
Behind a lock and key, that's right.
Chris is at the Featherdale Wildlife Park in Western Sydney.
Oh look, she knew you were coming.
Fifi the death adder has developed a mystery swelling around her middle and now requires an examination.
Chris is going to have to be really on his guard now that it's coming time to handle Fifi, because she is very fast when she wants to be, and of course in the top 10 most venomous snakes, so he's really going to have to be on his game.
Easy girl. Easy does it, girl. Here she comes. Handling a venomous snake, it's obviously incredibly risky, but we've got one thing in our favour here. It's a tube. Snakes will instinctively want to slither up the tube, so if we can use that, all of a sudden we turn things around in our favour.
Well done. Perfect.
It's always a nice moment when she's in there. With her head safely up that tube, I can now get a good feel of her. Hopefully we can get this examination done quickly and work out exactly what is going on. So I guess I'm looking for a few things. It's her withdrawing in pain and really getting agitated by that, but also it's just the texture of it all. What I'm feeling, it doesn't feel like gas. It's kind of spongy, kind of soft, almost like it's a build-up of fluid. The location is really the critical thing here. If you think about it, her heart would be here, lungs in this first bit here, stomach's down the middle, and then intestines. But you've got to remember she's a female.
That's right.
So her reproductive tract is going to be sort of through this middle area here, because she's either got some sort of impaction in a lower part of her stomach, or she has something filling up her reproductive tract, which you would think would be a pregnancy. So the only way to truly know for sure is going to be to actually have a look inside there. Despite a lot of looking and a lot of prodding, to be honest, I'm no closer to working out what is actually happening here. So it's time to take this examination to the next level. Thankfully, these guys do have an ultrasound machine, so by using that, I should be able to get an answer as to what's happening. Okay, so I reckon we start around this middle area here. Okay, so we're getting a bit of stomach here, but it's empty stomach, which is hopefully a good sign. Just working our way down here. That area at the top of the screen there, where we've got the little circle, that looks like a gallbladder, and I think it's a liver around it. We still don't have anything that's causing this swelling yet. So far, we've found a liver, a gallbladder, but no answers as to what's going on here. Okay, so that area's moving. I'm pretty sure that is actually intestine there. Now, if we had a blockage there, that shouldn't be contracting.
Okay.
Chris is now certain that gas or a blockage isn't causing Fifi's problem.
So we're going to have to keep on searching, because right now we actually don't have any answers. See that?
As Chris moves the probe over Fifi's belly, he notices something very unusual.
Something in there is about 1/2 centimetre wide, but a couple of centimetres long, with vertebrae. Finally, after all this searching, we've got an answer. Turns out it's answers. Mate, I think she's got babies.
That would be fantastic, because Fifi didn't breed last year and she was in a breeding program last year, so you do start to wonder if maybe she's too old now. Oh, that's unreal.
We don't just have babies, we've got live babies.
Which is the best kind. So what about how many? Any idea?
I knew you'd ask that.
Well, I need that now to better prepare, I mean.
So they're venomous the day they're born, aren't they?
From day dot, yep. As soon as they're out, they're ready to go.
Wow. You've got, I'd say at least 16, and I'd be thinking more like around 20.
Well, I'm ecstatic to hear that Fifi's actually pregnant. You do worry that swelling was going to be something nasty, but the fact that it means that she's got potentially 20 babies there that I've now got to prepare for, I'm over the moon.
Considering what that swelling could have been.
Fantastic outcome.
That is a great outcome, and not just that, I mean, she's carrying them and carrying them very well. So Fifi, congratulations. Normally there's a kiss involved at this time, but I think we'll pass on that.
Maybe not today.
Normally a pregnancy ultrasound is an exciting time, and it's an emotional time, and it's a happy time. But for Fifi, it's a time that she wants to be over. She'd just rather go back right now.
It'll be another 4 weeks before Fifi's babies are born. She will spend her time resting in her enclosure until then.
Good luck, girl. I think with 20 on the way, you might just need it. Rest up.
you doing?
So cute. Can we cuddle it already?
Absolutely. This is Monty.
Oh, Monty, hello. I don't really know how to hold a goat.
Matt has brought Monty, a miniature goat, into the Bondi Clinic for a routine consultation with Chris.
So sweet. Can we steal him?
I brought Monty in today because when I bought him, he had a registration tag through his ear. So I thought it was time to come in and get him chipped. So he's all registered.
So your dad?
But Monty is finding it hard to make it past reception.
What is going on out here? Of course. Is this yours?
Yeah.
How you going? I'm Chris.
G'day, Chris. Matt.
Hey, Matt. You're a very brave man to bring...
Yeah, it's a present.
It's not yours.
No, it
Watch
is.
this one here.
You struggling to take him home, love?
He's not coming home. I'm already telling you now. Come on. Step away from the goat. Let's go.
I can't pass him up
Come on.
to you.
You know, in here, some of us have to keep their cool and maintain a focus because we're working. But all the same, it's hard to deny that Monty is a cute kid. Okay, look, you've got to say goodbye at some stage.
Okay, I'll show you. You put him down, Jackson.
Thank you. So, aside from driving the nurses crazy, what's the reason he's here today?
I've brought him in basically so I can get him chipped. And just the last couple of days, I've just noticed him scratching away at himself a little more.
Okay.
So I thought, look, while we're here, get that checked out as well.
Matt was always due to bring in Monty for a microchipping, but in the last few days, he's really noticed that he started scratching. And even here right now, he just goes a few seconds before he can't help but lift that hoof through and scratch away. That's not entirely normal.
Police dog Doc is lucky to be alive after recently falling from a 3-storey building.
Yep, good way. Come on.
The German Shepherd is at the Bondi Referral Hospital sash because his death-defying fall has caused serious damage to his right leg.
We got him emergency help where they casted it and did all that for a couple of weeks, but it's got to a point now where it hasn't completely healed. It's so there's still some healing there to go, and we're a bit worried that there might be something else going on.
G'day, how you doing? Good, how are you? Andrew.
Chris.
Chris. Who's this?
This is Doc.
Doc! Hey, Doc! Hey, you big fella! It's very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, you've been doing high-rise jumping. Given what we know's happened to Doc, i.e. he's gone for a high dive and landed 3 stories down, I'm really worried that he's trashed the supporting ligaments of his wrist joint.
Attaboy.
You know, he's sideways he seems okay, but he really just doesn't like me doing that. But yes, you're a good boy, hey? Yes, this is your sore one, I know. Yeah, no, look, it's really, it's quite obvious that he doesn't like me sort of trying to extend his wrist. And that's pretty typical for dogs that have done that sort of a high dive thing because they land and they damage those ligaments. So I think that's what's going on. And I guess the other thing is the one leg you can get about that far, the other leg that's damaged, we're sort of pushing it even further, and that sort of suggests to me that he's ruptured those ligaments. So with that sort of injury, if we do nothing, he'll always be lame, and he'll only get worse and worse and worse until it's totally collapsed on him. So what we've got to do is we've got to prove whether I'm right or wrong, and so to do that I think we need to get him anaesthetised and get some x-rays. That's it.
If Doc's leg can't be repaired, his career in the police force is likely to come to an end.
The bond between a police dog and its handlers, it's very important for a successful team. You know, it's irreplaceable, and you know, you can't really describe it. It's very, very important, and it's something that the handler treasures.
See, every 10 seconds or so, he's having a good scratch. Yeah. A lot of the time it's around that neck area or across his shoulders here.
At the Bondi Clinic, miniature goat Monty has been brought in to get a microchip.
He really shouldn't be scratching that much.
But Chris is now concerned about the kid's excessive scratching.
As I part the fur on Monty's shoulders, I've got a funny feeling I know what's going on here. But rather than going for some sort of scientific test, I'm going to reach for some stationery. Let's try something with him. So, It is what it looks like, it's just sticky tape. This might look like some sort of kindergarten craft project, but using sticky tape is actually the coolest and most precise way of seeing exactly what's on Monty's skin. I've got my sample, but the fact is whatever is there is just going to be too small to see with my own eyes. We need some help with a microscope.
Matt has only had Monty for 10 days, but they're already inseparable.
He's fantastic. He's very affectionate. He comes with me to work and he's been getting the privileged life, I guess, for the last 10 days. He's been in, lying on the bed and he just snuzzles up to you and then it's the chewing noise I wake up to most mornings.
You said you share the same bed?
Yeah.
Matt's chosen an interesting time to tell me about the sleeping habits of Monty and the fact that he shares the bed, because if my hunch is right, he's going to freak out when he sees exactly what's on Monty's skin.
Jessica. Oh boy.
At Sash, police dog Doc has badly injured his right leg after falling from a 3-storey building.
You're not going to catch any bad guys looking like that.
Specialist surgeon Andrew Marchevsky thinks the horrific fall may have caused serious ligament damage.
What I've actually got to do is get him anaesthetised so he can't feel anything and take some x-rays of that joint whilst I'm really wrenching on it to see if it can bend too far, and then we can figure out what we've got to do to fix him. And pretty much that's straight, I can't, and that's how it should be. There's no bend at all here. And then we can look at this one, you can see how much more that bends. So we look at his x-rays here, that angle is about 25 degrees more movement in there than it should be. To me that says he's ruptured those ligaments.
This diagnosis means Doc's career as a police dog now hangs in the balance.
He'll have to have his joint fused permanently, so it can't move at all, but at least it'll be in the right position for him to walk and run. And I don't know how he's going to go as a police dog.
Andrew now needs to break the news to Doc's best mate and partner, Senior Constable Chris Hill.
He's done enough damage that it's not going to get better. Yep. That's the problem. And I said, now we can talk about what to do. With these cases, generally, we fuse the joint.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we'll get it so that it's functional. I guess the question you've got to try and answer, and I can't, it's hard for me to answer, is he going to be a working dog after that?
Yeah.
Chris will need to get approval from the police force before the surgery to fuse Doc's joints can go ahead. Until this decision is made, the hard-working German Shepherd is now officially off duty.
So he won't be 100% and possibly not be able to return to work. It's heartbreaking. A lot of work's gone into him, and he's your mate, so you just want him to be the best that he can be at what he does, as I do. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna head home.
I have a feeling I know what this is and what's causing Monty to scratch.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is analysing a sample taken from Monty's skin.
It's all right, mate.
The 4-week-old miniature goat was brought in to be microchipped, but owner Matt was worried about Monty's incessant scratching.
You said you share the same bed?
Yeah, not really by choice, but...
The only reason I ask is because the thing that's making Monty itch is that
dirty big louse.
Wow, okay.
So he's got a lot of them.
Right.
Now, they would have come with him. They're not something he obviously picks up in his new home.
Right.
They're spread between goats.
Yep.
And between sheep.
Yeah.
So
he's off the bed straight away. Not a chance Monty will be sharing the bed anymore. I think the time's come where tough love this week. So he's going to start learning the hard rules of being a goat.
So we'll give him his treatment. Funnily enough, because not too many baby goats get diagnosed with lice in city vet clinics, there isn't actually a treatment specifically for this problem. But thankfully, a dog and cat flea treatment has a drug in it that works perfectly and quickly. So we're taking care of the lice. Okay, so give me the microchip and we're done.
Great.
It's okay, mate.
All right, mate.
Okay, so now that one's in, we can get rid of the earring.
Yep. Well done, bud.
And just when Monty thought he was out of here, it's time to remove his ear tag. Something I thought would be a favour for him. He doesn't see it that way. He's just taking some time to process all of this. Oh, don't show me that face. Excuse me? Monty's not too keen to hear words. He feels that my actions have spoken louder than any words can. And right now I can tell that Monty isn't a big fan of mine. I'll see you soon, Mont. Things will improve, I promise. All right.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
On the way
Cheers,
out.
mate.
Run. All right. Quickly. Don't turn back.
You silly boy.
Why did you eat the chicken wing?
I know.
Marion's afternoon sitting duties have been interrupted by a trip to Sash.
Xavier, Lola and I are at Sash today because this afternoon Bailey, my beagle, got into our bin and pulled out a whole stack of chicken bones, and Dylan ate them and started coughing, and turns out he's got one in his throat. So we've rushed here to hopefully get it out.
So you're worried that the bone is stuck in his esophagus?
That's right. He seems to have a very sore patch on his throat when you're kind of feeling around, and he doesn't like you to press on it.
If Dylan has a chicken bone stuck in his food pipe, that's potentially life-threatening, because if it pierces through his food pipe into his chest, he could develop severe breathing difficulty.
It's okay.
Okay, so what we need to do is take an x-ray of his neck and of his chest and work out, is there anything stuck there? If it's a bone, it will be pretty obvious if it's sitting there where it shouldn't be. And if it is stuck there, then what we'll need to do is give him an anaesthetic and pull it out with an endoscopy. So that's a special camera that we use. We put down his throat, and if the bone's there, then hopefully we'll be able to grab it out.
If it just want it to get out and him to be okay. So whatever you can do.
Okay. Dylan seems uncomfortable, he's really frightened. I need to take that x-ray of him to work out if that bone is stuck in his throat or not. Dylan, come on. Dylan, good boy. Right there. Wow, there it is. I'm looking at Dylan's x-rays and straight away it is obvious that he's got a chicken bone stuck in his esophagus or food pipe. Now that's going to be causing him a lot of pain, and every minute that it sits there, it's causing damage. Now we need to take it out or he's going to be in serious trouble.
Got a funny feeling today is going to be, well, different.
Chris has been invited to the Sea Life Melbourne Aquarium for a shark encounter with a difference.
Rob?
Hey Chris, how
are you? Hey, good to see you.
Doing the same, nice to meet you.
Today, as part of Rob's team, I'm undertaking artificial insemination of sharks. It's safe to say they never taught us this at vet school. It sounds like you've got an interesting day planned.
We do, Chris. We'll catch a couple of these white-tip reef sharks that are just here. We'll get a male and a female and we'll bring them up to the lock. And with the males, we'll try and extract some semen. And then after we've done that, we'll examine the female, we'll ultrasound her, and then we'll probably put the semen into her.
Aquarium vet Dr. Rob Jones is a world leader in shark artificial insemination.
Today we're going to inseminate one of our female sharks, and the idea is that through these procedures we develop the techniques that we can then use to save the endangered shark species. The main one that we're concerned with is the grey nurse shark, which is critically endangered on the east coast of Australia, and we're down to less than 1,500 in the wild.
There are only a very small number of grey nurse sharks in captivity, so Chris and an aquarium dive team will enter the main tank and capture a male and female white-tip reef shark. These sharks will be used as a surrogate species on which artificial insemination techniques can be perfected.
I'm sure when I walk in here today, Rob's thinking, this has to be the first time Chris has ever caught a shark. It's not true. A little while ago, I had to pull a live shark at a Bronte ocean pool. That wasn't easy, but today I've got a funny feeling the sharks are going to be bigger and possibly more of a challenge.
At SASH, it's a big day for Senior Constable Chris Hill and his faithful partner Doc. After a death-defying 3-storey fall, the German Shepherd has been given the all-clear for surgery to try and repair his severely damaged right leg.
Doc's career is on the line here. He's basically busted all the ligaments in the back of his wrist and they'll never heal, so we've got to fuse his joint. So unless we get in and do something now, and unless this is successful, he's going to have to be retired as a police dog, and I think that'd almost kill Doc.
I am a bit worried now that he might have to retire at such a young age. He's only 3 years old, so he's still got a lot of work left in him, and we've got quite a good bond now. So to have to retire him and start over would be devastating for both me and him, I suppose, because he enjoys his work. He really does.
So there's nothing subtle, unfortunately, about this surgery. With Doc's surgeries, the major risks, I guess, is that we're trying to fuse a joint that doesn't want to be fused. And so the risk is we'll do all this, come back, and it won't have done what we want it to do. It won't have fused. And that can be really problematic. So we've got to make sure we're really meticulous with what we do. It's not a healthy joint. So basically what I'm going to do here is cut out all the joint capsule, all the joint cartilage, burr it down to bone basically. So we're going to turn this joint into just one single bone. And can we just have the suction on, please? Okay, we're just going to go to this joint here. So we've exposed his joint, so I'm looking straight at his joint cartilage. And now I'm going to start burring that out. And once we've got rid of all that, we'll pack it full of bone graft. Then we'll put a big plate across it to keep it nice and stable whilst it's healing. Yeah, so this is the plate that we're going to put on. I'll put a little bend in it like that, so when he runs, his leg won't be totally straight, it'll be sort of kicked up like that a bit, so that'll be a little bit more anatomically normal for him.
Securing the plate in the correct position is crucial. Otherwise, Doc has little hope of returning to the police force.
So we've now got this plate on his leg and across that joint, so now it's stiff, it can't move. But at the moment, the only thing keeping it like that is the plate. Give him 12, 16 weeks, then all that bone graft will cause that whole area to fuse together, and it'll be like he's got one big long bone there.
After 2 hours on the operating table...
Right, last stitch.
Finally, Doc's surgery comes to an end.
So we've finished him now, he's stiff as a board. We'll just take him into X-ray to see how all the implants look and make sure they're in all the right spots. We'll put a bandage on him and then we'll start waking him up. It's good so far. I'm really happy with the surgery. The X-rays look great, so everything's gone well. Now we've just got to wait for this whole thing to heal, and then we'll see if we can get him back to doing the stuff he loves doing.
John, this is Chris.
Hey Chris, how are you? All set to get suited up?
You bet.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Chris is at the Sea Life Aquarium in Melbourne.
This should just about do it, I reckon. Is that the biggest you've got? You'd stretch out. They're pretty good at stretching.
He's taking part in a groundbreaking shark artificial insemination program.
Fit you like a glove.
Chris and a dive team led by John Lau will enter the aquarium's main tank to try and catch a male and female white-tip reef shark.
I've handled a lot of animals, but when it comes to handling sharks, it's entirely different.
everything is on their terms. You're in their environment, plus they're incredibly unpredictable. So today, there's going to be some tense moments. Great thing is, now I look like a seal. Sharks hate seals, right?
Once they've been caught, semen will be removed from the male shark and used to artificially inseminate the female. If successful, the hope is this insemination technique can then be used to breed the critically endangered grey nurse shark.
Get this on now? Yep, let's go. Once we've entered the tank, theoretically, the plan is simple. We locate the white-tip shark. It should be sitting underneath a rock. That's its usual hiding place. From there, we give a bit of a tap on the nose. As it rushes out, net on front of it, net on the back of it. Hopefully, then we put a shark.
The first shark to be caught will be the female. Fortunately for the team, it's an easy catch.
Here they come. Oh, you got it. Well done. Good on you, Chris. That's fantastic.
The female will remain in the holding tank until the male is caught and his semen removed. But the male shark is proving much more difficult to capture.
Sharks have been around for hundreds of millions of years for a reason. They're cluey and they can almost sense when something's not quite right. This shark's no different. The moment we start to surround it, makes a run for it.
The shark darts off, but he must be caught quickly before he becomes stressed. Finally, Chris and the team catch the shark.
Once we can get one net around him, it's a matter of getting another net on top, and from there, he should be able to escape. The moment I grab hold of the net, I can really feel the raw power of this shark. He's thrashing around and clearly doesn't like his situation. He's got no idea what's coming next.
Chris and John are carefully taking the feisty shark to a holding tank.
Here they come.
Where Dr. Rob Jones and his veterinary team are waiting to begin the semen extraction procedure.
Well done. Number 2.
Now that this shark is out of its normal tank, stress levels are starting to rise, so we have to move quickly. Got to move double speed.
Come on, Dylan. I have to get this out of you, buddy.
At SASH, 13-year-old Dylan is about to undergo an endoscopy to try to remove a chicken bone stuck in his esophagus.
We're giving Dylan an anaesthetic right now because we're going to put a camera down his throat to have a look in his food pipe and see if we can pull that bone out.
All right, let's get it out.
Medicine specialist Dr. David Collins has the extremely difficult task of trying to remove the bone without causing permanent damage.
Dave is guiding the camera down Dylan's esophagus, and I really hope that we're not going to see any sign of blood, inflammation or trauma from this bone, because if that has happened, there could be long-term problems for Dylan. There it is. That's the bone sticking there, right in the centre of the esophagus. We can see the bone and it looks sharp, and I'm worried that we might not be able to get it out with ease.
David must slowly and carefully try to pull the bone out without causing any damage.
The esophagus or food pipe is a really soft muscular organ, and that sharp bone could be cutting the inside of his esophagus, which could lead to long-term scarring and potentially permanent swallowing problems. And if we can't take it out with the endoscopy, Dylan might need to have his neck cut open to have it taken out that way. I really hope that it doesn't end up going that way for this little guy. It would be a disaster.
Just when you thought things couldn't get any more different, these are the examination gloves. Steel mesh. Your sharks bite.
At the Sea Life Aquarium in Melbourne, Chris is about to help extract semen from a white-tip reef shark as a part of the aquarium's artificial insemination breeding program.
The reason we started getting involved in this process is the plight of the grey nurse shark on the east coast of Australia. They are critically endangered. Their numbers are diminishing. They're going to be extinct in 10 or 20 years' time. Our goal with this process is to be able to be a contributing factor in saving the grey nurse shark.
One question. Who is doing the act to get the sample?
Yep, that would be me.
Good.
We'll give you the tube to put it in.
Jonathan Daly will be carrying out the delicate task.
Another steering net.
But first, the team must catch their sperm donor.
Keep it in water. Keep it in water.
You got it?
Not yet. Take him in out. Hold that back end of him so he doesn't kick as he comes out. Yep. Okay, we're good to go.
The team have just 10 minutes to perform the procedure. Any longer and they risk the shark becoming too stressed.
So we've got some water running over his mouth there with some oxygen.
Okay.
To keep him oxygenated while we work on this.
Because normally you have to rely on swimming to get the oxygen through his gills. Yep. Now we've managed to get this shark stabilised, onto his back and oxygenated. It's time for John to work his magic.
So what we're doing is we're just feeling for the lower reproductive tract and just putting a little tiny bit of pressure on that, and then we're able just to express some sperm into our tube.
It's pretty delicate at both ends now because obviously the front end's got the teeth, but the back end's where all the action's happening, and you just don't want him to move too much at the crucial moment. Done.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. So it's really just a little tickle over the important part there.
Yeah.
And it stimulates him enough that he actually produces the sperm there.
Are we done, John? Yep. We've got a good sample, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
With the procedure now over, the shark can be released.
Roll him towards us.
Yep.
And then on the count of 3 we let go. So 1, 2, 3. That's it. Beautiful.
Well done.
But before insemination, the sperm must be examined to make sure it's a live sample.
So now the big test, huh?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Let's see how this looks under the microscope.
One of the things we have to do is to actually mix the sperm with the salt water. That actually activates the sperm and wakes them up, and that replicates the actual mating process when the two sharks mate.
Is there a certain percentage you're looking for of sperm that are actually moving?
Preferably up around 80 or 90% moving would be good.
They look like long corkscrews.
They do, don't they?
They're busy. Dancing. They're ready for action.
Absolutely.
The moment I see all those twisty little guys doing their thing in there, I know it's going to happen. We're ready for the next step.
There it is. Now the tricky part is trying to pull it out.
At SASH, Lisa and medicine specialist Dr. David Collins are using an endoscope to try to remove a sharp chicken bone stuck in Dylan's esophagus.
Let's see if we can get it. Poor little guy.
Yeah.
But it's an incredibly delicate procedure. One wrong move and the bone could tear open his food pipe.
We've got to move fast to get it out with the endoscopy because every minute that we delay, it's causing more and more pain and damage to Dylan.
Finally, after 15 minutes of painstaking work, the bone comes out.
Oh, that is sharp.
Oh, that's going to hurt.
Look, it's not over just yet. We've put the endoscopy back down his throat. We're having a look at his esophagus just to make sure that there's no damage because that piece of bone was really sharp. We need to make sure that he's not going to have any long-term problems. That's pretty good. Amazing. The really good news is that there is no sign of injury. It doesn't even look like there was a bone there in the first place, which is amazing news. We're going to wake him up now, and I can't wait to tell Marion the good news. Dylan has been through a lot. He's absolutely exhausted. So I'm just going to let him rest, and in the morning I'll give him some food. And if he eats well, then he'll be able to go home.
Okay, so same situation as before. Catch our shark, female this time, roll her over. Then you work your magic of a different kind. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
At the aquarium in Melbourne, Chris and the veterinary team need to catch a female white-tip reef shark so she can be artificially inseminated.
The thing I noticed straight away with this female is she's a lot bigger than the male. almost 50% bigger, which could mean 50% more of a challenge. She comes. You got her? Yeah.
With the female now under control, the team will conduct an ultrasound of the shark's ovaries to make sure they're healthy. But they will have to work fast.
So same rules here, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yep.
Clock is counting.
All right. Okay.
Lots of water flow up the front, lots of oxygen. So the first thing we'll do is ultrasound it.
Yeah.
When we're working on the female, it's the same as the male. We set a ceiling of 10 minutes, and that's really for the welfare of the shark.
So we're searching for the ovary now?
Yeah, we're looking for the ovary.
Yep. The fact is there's no point putting her through this whole procedure unless she's actually ovulated recently. If there are no eggs, there's nothing for the sperm to find. And just looking for follicles and...
Yeah, egg follicles. If we can see some good ovarian development, some good egg development, then we'll be putting the semen in.
Yep. Thankfully, the moment we look at the ovaries, we can see they've just ovulated. It's perfect timing.
5 minutes, all right, the clock's counting down, we've got to keep going.
All right, so this is really the critical moment now.
Yeah, time to inseminate.
The shark has now been held for over 5 minutes.
So start by loading up the tube.
Meaning that it's crucial the insemination takes place right now.
Okay, she's just tensing up a bit. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
All right, in the right spot. With a simple push on the syringe, that's it there.
That's it, there we go.
Semen's gone in, she's inseminated with not much time to go. Well, there we go.
We'll roll her back over. Just point her away from the wall.
With the procedure now over, the shark can be released back into the tank.
She's away?
Yep, she's off.
Cool. Well done.
Well done. Good.
Good job, mate.
There we go.
Very good.
It's definitely not every day you get to inseminate a shark, and in fact we've probably only done it a handful of times. But Chris has actually done very, very well and can be pretty proud of himself actually after today.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Job done.
Yeah.
The hope is that the shark will fall pregnant and eventually give birth to the aquarium's first ever shark pup to be born in captivity by artificial insemination. If it works, the program will help threatened shark species in the wild, in particular the critically endangered grey nurse shark.
That was an anxious time for all of us, but now it's another nervous wait for 3 or 4 months before we know if it's been successful, if she's pregnant.
Hey Dylan, how you feeling? You're a good boy.
The following day at SASH, Dylan has recovered from the endoscopy to remove a chicken bone stuck in his throat.
Good boy.
And he now needs to pass one very important test.
I've brought out some chicken for Dylan without any bones. I want to see how well he can eat and if he's swallowing normally. And if he can do that, then he's ready to go home. You want it? Here you go, buddy. Good boy. Before I could even blink, Dylan had devoured all the chicken in the bowl. He's swallowed normally, he's not gagging, he's really comfortable. And this means that he's ready to go home.
Outside, Dylan's extended family, including his canine buddy Bailey, have arrived to take their little mate home.
So I'm really excited to see Dylan because I know he's going to be so excited to see me. His little tail's going to wag like crazy and he'll probably run over and give us so many licks because he just really loves to be around his people. So I know when he sees us, it's going to make his day.
Dylan, look who's here!
Hello. Hello. Oh, I miss you. He's so happy. Look, it's Bailey.
It's pretty obvious that Marion and the kids absolutely adore Dylan, and I think Bailey loves him too. Even though she put him in here in the first place, she's sorry and she's ready to be his best friend again. I have a souvenir for you.
Oh, wow.
And look how sharp that is.
Ouch. You are so lucky. When I saw him, he was so happy and just licking and really, really excited to see us all. So it was really good to see that he's completely back to his usual self and all happy. What do we say to Lisa? Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for looking after Dylan.
No
problem. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
All right. Hey, Doc. How you doing? There you go. Was that exciting, mate? Was that exciting? Hey, come on. Just take him for a wander up there. We'll just see what he's doing with it.
At
Said it,
Sash,
don't you?
it's
You're gonna
hard
pee,
to
aren't you?
believe that police dog Doc recently underwent major leg surgery.
Good boy. Come here. Sit.
Sit, Doc. Sit. Doc, sit.
The German Shepherd ruptured the ligaments in his right leg after a death-defying fall from a 3-storey building.
Doc is running around like a dog who's never had a surgery, he's never had his joints reamed out, he's never had his bones drilled. And he's just belting around like the crazy thing that he is.
Before Andrew gives the all clear to go home, he does a final check on the German Shepherd's leg.
There you are.
Love.
Look at that. You're just a happy dog, aren't you, mate? Really? Doc's an amazingly good patient when you consider how he runs around as a total noodle when he's on the ground. I put him up here on the table and he's just gone, okay, I'm having something done to me, and he's just let me do it, and he's just amazing. There aren't too many dogs that I don't have to sedate to do that sort of a procedure, and he's just lied there and gone, okay. He's a great dog. I mean, if the police didn't want him, I reckon I'd take him. Hey?
Look at that tail. Yeah.
You need to... Hey, Doc. Hey, Chris is here. He says, what? Who? Doc.
Waiting in reception is Doc's partner and best mate, Senior Constable Chris Hill.
I'm looking forward to seeing him again, of course. You know, we spent so much time together that you're missing that element of your life when he's gone. Pretty much lost, you know, without your dog.
Come on, Doc. Go. Oh, good boy. Yeah, I know. It's even more exciting.
Hey, mate. How'd you go?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks.
How'd you go? You dropped his legs.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy? Good. How are you?
Good boy. You look at Chris and Doc together and you sort of can tell they're best mates. And you get the impression that Doc will just do anything for Chris. Like he's already leapt over tall buildings and it's ended badly for him. But you can just see if Chris said do it again, he'd do it again. It's an amazing relationship.
So basically the prognosis, will you be right to come back and work again, full duties, you think?
Look, I've never done this surgery on a working police dog. We just got to get him to heal first and then let him go and see what happens. But I think he's got to go. Certainly if we hadn't have done this, no chance, he'd have had to retire him.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's a good then.
So,
it's a good result.
That's a good result, exactly right. So.
It will be at least 3 months until Andrew can confirm if the surgery has been a success. But for now, Chris is just happy to be taking his best mate home.
He realises that he's not 100%, but it's good that his spirit's still the way it is. I mean, that's him, that's his character, and that's what we love about him. Hey, come on. Come on, mate.
It's been 8 weeks since Chris helped out with the shark insemination program at the Sea Life Aquarium in Melbourne.
So this is really the critical moment now.
Yeah, time to inseminate.
Okay.
Here we go. Yep.
All right, in the right spot. With a simple push on the syringe, that's it there.
That's it. There we go.
The semen's gone in, she's inseminated. She's all right?
Yep, she's off.
Well done.
Aquarium staff are yet to confirm if this shark is pregnant, but there is some good news. A baby shark in the nursery.
Patricia is a small baby brown banded bamboo shark. She's the first shark born in Australia from artificial insemination. It's the first time in the world that species has been bred with artificial insemination, and it's the first time for any shark or ray species that semen has been transported from one facility to another with a successful insemination and a live birth.
Dr. Rob Jones and his team are keeping their fingers crossed that there will be more babies on the way.
Look, the fact that we've had this success with this brown-banded bamboo shark means that when we did the white tips with Chris here, we can now be a lot more optimistic about the outcome of that insemination.
What are we gonna do with you, noisy girl? Huh? She's just a loud, noisy dog.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital sash, Brogan is desperate to get help for her 11-month-old French Bulldog, Audrey.
It's just getting unbearable for her to breathe. Her ribs go out, like they balloon out because she's trying to suck in all of the air. So we just want to see if that can be fixed or if she's going to be like this forever.
Okay. This must be Audrey.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Hendrix. I heard you were coming as well, but this is Audrey's appointment. She's the one who's sick today, so you're going to wait here, and I'll bring your girlfriend back. Come through. So let's pop her up on the table. I'll have a look at her. You're a beautiful girl. Wow, you are noisy. My gosh. Excuse me. Audrey, that is no way for a lady to sound. Sweetie pie, let's have a listen. That is loud. I can't even hear your lungs. I'm just hearing all this noise from your throat. I've got Audrey on the table and she sounds like a light aircraft. This little girl is snorting and snoring away and she's not even hot. She's not even distressed. I can't imagine how bad her breathing would be if she had to exert herself. And she's otherwise been okay?
Yeah, she's been good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Audrey, sweetie pie, you are a noisy little thing. Hey? Let's have a look at your face. Let me see your pretty face. Okay, in dogs like Audrey, there is some extra tissue that basically is overgrown. It hangs down and it obstructs air going down into her lungs. And by flopping around there, it's making this horrible snorting sound. The other thing is you can look at her little nostrils and they're quite narrow. And then further down, they can sometimes have problems with their larynx. Worst case scenario, if we leave it untreated, those problems with the larynx can actually progress and the larynx, so your voice box where the air goes down into your lungs, can collapse. And if that happens, that's life-threatening. That means she wouldn't be able to get any oxygen in. She wouldn't really be able to breathe. So Audrey looks like one of the dogs that has been dealt the short straw.
He was sprawling over the sides of the bench.
Yep.
Dogs don't do that.
At the Bondi Clinic, Chris is trying to get to the bottom of Ziggy's weight problem.
This has got to change because, I mean, look at it.
Poor man. Yes.
Ziggy's owners adore him. Chris is starting to suspect they might be a bit too devoted to their big boy.
How many meals is he getting during the day? Let's run through them. So,
our day starts off at 5 o'clock when my husband's alarm goes off, and this one wants wet food. Then at 6 o'clock he wants dry food, and he comes in and he announces that. So he has several breakfasts in the morning and a couple of dinners at night.
okay.
And he eats his dry food as well. He is insistent, he is addicted. He is an addictive personality and it involves food and attention.
So he just bosses you around until he gets what he wants.
Yes, well, as I say, bosses, nips, sits on, lies on.
And at 13 kilos, he can boss.
Oh yes, yes, there's a lot of bossing to be bossed.
He is a very strong personality. You can see he's not wanting to
Oh no.
to comply in any way,
No, no.
really. Let's have a little listen to his heart. His heart rate is quite high. His respiratory rate is high. Looking over Ziggy, you can see some, but not all, of the health effects of being this large. Certainly his heart and his lungs are under strain right now, but being this big means that he's at an increased risk of arthritis, of diabetes, of liver and even kidney problems. His heart is having to go incredibly hard just to pump enough blood around his body to give all the oxygen it needs.
Yes.
His lungs are having to breathe more often than they should.
Yes.
My plan is to go and visit Rosalie and Ziggy and see exactly what's happening at home, because what's happening at home is the key to Ziggy's immense size. Unlock the secrets as to why Ziggy's bossing around Rosalie, and you might just find Ziggy unloads a whole lot of kilos.
The surgery is a risky thing because we're fiddling with her airways. We're going to have to cut that bit of tissue away at the back of her throat.
At SASH, Lisa is breaking the news to Brogan that an operation is Audrey's only hope of breathing normally.
The other thing is we'll just do a little nose surgery as well. So we'll just make those little openings of her nostrils a little bit bigger because she's obviously having so much difficulty getting that air in that we want to make her essentially as normal as she can be.
Wow, okay. So it's a massive surgery.
Yeah.
That's quite scary.
It is, I'm sure it is. She's a little girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and find Andrew, one of our surgeons, and just see what his availability is like.
It's just kind of scary putting your baby into surgery.
Okay, good news, good and scary for you, is that Andrew does have space on his schedule.
Okay.
All right, should we just fix you? We just do our best and fix you? I think so, yes. Brogan's made the decision for Audrey to have the surgery. Now, it's not an easy decision, but I think it's the right one. Audrey's only 11 months old now, and she's already having problems. Brogan wants her to lead a normal life, and this is the best way to get there. Okay, we'll just tuck her in.
Good girl.
With surgery scheduled for first thing tomorrow, Audrey will spend the night at SASH.
Wow, lots of emotions. I'm kind of nervous and scared and want to cry and just want to be there for her all at once.
Be brave.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Chris is making an important home visit to find out what's going on with Rosalie and her overweight cat, Ziggy.
Hello.
Hey, thank
How are
you
you
for
going?
coming.
Good to see you.
Come
Is he here? Is he watching?
Not right at the moment.
Chris suspects that in this cat-dominated household, Ziggy's the boss, and he has an accomplice.
Ziggy is not the only cat in the house. We've also got a female ragdoll called Charlie.
Okay. Now, where is he hassling you the most? Where is he
Well, I
tending
have to say the bedroom.
Okay. Rosalie loves the cats. That's clear. Cats, though, are potentially taking over her life. I walk into the bedroom, and this is usually the sacred space in the home, but there's a blanket on the bed to protect it from the cats. There's plastic bags on the bed to amuse the cats, and all around the room there are statues of cats. Almost like it's the religion, Catholicism, that's being followed in here.
He has a habit of coming and either walking on me or lying on me or sitting on my feet, and given his size, it's a bit of a problem.
Because I'd imagine
Well,
that
I mean, minus
when you
all
have-
those cushions.
when you have you, your husband, and a cat the size of Ziggy, how do you sleep? I've got to do something. I would like to set up a camera
Right.
in your bedroom in the nicest possible way, looking
have to.
at the cats and what the cats get up to.
All right, okay.
The idea behind the hidden camera is really to set up Ziggy, to try to capture Ziggy in his prime time, when he's going to be most demanding for food. So let's put the camera here,
All right.
angle back here, night vision. Let's find out exactly what's going on.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Rosalie just puts it on night mode, presses record. We get to see Ziggy's best, worst behaviour.
Imagine sleeping next to that.
Probably keep your mum awake at night.
The following morning at SASH, Lisa and specialist surgeon Andrew Marchevsky are about to start on noisy Audrey's life-saving surgery.
Audrey's having an anaesthetic now, which is quite risky. Any sedative or anaesthesia in a dog with a face like this has the potential to make their breathing a whole lot worse. So we've got everything ready to go in case we need to intervene fast.
Come on, Audrey, let's get you sorted.
How does it look?
Well, she's, I mean, sort of what we expected. She's got this really long, fleshy, soft palate. She's got two primary problems. One, her nostrils are like this, so she can't actually breathe through them. So we're going to have to widen those. Oh, Audrey, look at that. Also, her soft palate, which is sort of a little dingly-dangly bit up the back of your throat, hers is way too long and way too fleshy. And so every time she breathes, she's getting this snoring sound because it's sort of reverberating around inside her throat. So we're going to shorten that up and make it less floppy, if you like. The first thing we have to do is take out the laryngeal saccules that have been sucked out into the airway. They're just big sort of fleshy masses of the lining of the voice box. Oh, sweetheart. This is awful. So I've snipped those out, so already there's a better airway there. So now what we're going to do is actually get rid of the cause of the problem, which is this really long, fleshy, soft palate. There it is. So that's just the very end of her soft palate. So we've taken off a little over 1 centimetre. All that stretches out and then blocks her airway.
The final part of this complicated procedure is to widen Audrey's badly constricted nostrils.
Look at those nostrils. They aren't any. Little slits. You get a nose job, Audrey. You will breathe much better now, baby. So at this point, we've just got to wake her up very slowly, watch how she recovers, because they can have problems, you know, right from the very first moment of recovery, and then we're going to watch her like a hawk for the next 36, 48 hours. Oh, Audrey.
Thank you very much.
What a good dog.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Now, how did you go?
Well, like to think I'm getting there.
Chris is back at Rosalie's apartment to see what overweight Ziggy has been up to. He is certain the big bossy cat is taking advantage of his doting owners.
So the whole point behind videoing you guys in your bedroom wasn't just to get inside your world, it was to get inside Ziggy's world, to see what he actually gets up to and why his demands have resulted in him being this size.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yep.
This is the awful truth.
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Let's.
Immediately, Chris sees the problem. The second the alarm goes off, the cat is up on the bed demanding food.
So my plan is hopefully going to result in Ziggy eating less, Ziggy exercising more, and you never know, at the end of it all, you may just find you can sleep a bit more as well.
I'm liking the plan.
Okay,
Yes.
that's the plan,
Yes.
but first,
Yes.
I need to show you something. Stay there though.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. I've been trying to be fairly subtle about it, but each time I walk into a new room in this apartment, I notice something. There's a food bowl there. 5, 6. It means that Ziggy has total control over whenever he wants to eat because there's always food available. Do you think we might have just a few too many bowls? How are you ever gonna hope to work out how much they're eating when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 food bowls out in operation?
How am I ever going to hope to work out who's eating what?
There is 1 food bowl per square metre of this apartment.
And I don't know who's doing the grazing when. That's the problem. I don't know which stomach it's going into.
Yeah. You don't have control.
You can say that.
Yeah.
Ziggy's grazing days are over. It's time for some tough love.
All right. So, all these 6 bowls are going to be replaced by these.
Yeah, okay.
So here's what we're going to do. Half a cup in each.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
That is Ziggy, and that is Charlie. Now, none of this 2 cats, 6 bowls, 2 different types of food, plus snacks, plus sandwich, plus dinner scraps, that's all got to end. This is their food.
All right.
This is only their food, nothing more. We've got to simplify it, and we've got to be able to keep track on what they're eating.
Chris also wants Ziggy to work off some of his excess kilos with more exercise.
Now, if he wants his food, he's going to have to work for it.
Oh, he can't get up there. He's got a bit too much around the middle.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? If it means that much to him, and if there's no other food around, he will get up here. So the thing is, each time he gets up here, he uses his muscles. His heart rate lifts up, and all of a sudden his metabolic rate is boosted up, and he burns more calories. There's no escaping the fact that I've asked a lot of Rosalie today, but seeing her here with her cats, you realise there's a deep love for them. She wants the best for them. This is the best for them. She just has to believe.
Hello. You're allowed to let go of the tube. Come on. Can I have it?
At SASH, Andrew is anxious to see if surgery to repair Audrey's airways has worked.
You gonna let go of the tube?
But the young pup is reluctant to let go of her breathing tube.
She's waking up really well, but she really likes having this tube in place because I think it's the best she's ever breathed. And mostly by now, when the dogs are this way, they're sort of coughing and trying to get the tube out, whereas she's just sitting there sucking on it. Come on, can we have it? Oh, is that out? Come on. There we go.
Hello.
There we go. Now it's harder to breathe because this is not in. How are we doing? You just need to have a good cough. There you go. You all right? She's got a lot of swelling there, a little bit of bleeding, so we might have made it just a little bit worse just for a little while, but that's why we're going to be basically watching it 24/7 until she's through that danger period. Just need to have a good cough again. Hey? You're okay. Hey, it's all right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tim to all keepers in venom training. Can you guys please make your way up to the venom room now?
On my way.
At the Australian Reptile Park, a masterclass in how to handle some of the world's most dangerous snakes is about to begin.
The reptile park has 250 venomous snakes. That means that our keepers must have basic snake handling skills and in some cases more elaborate skills for restraint, pinning and milking a snake. Today I've got 4 keepers at varying levels of experience and I'm going to put them through some training. But as always with venomous snakes, it can be a bit scary.
Liz, Mick, Kyle and Mike are the keepers whose lives may depend on today's crucial lesson.
The first snake the guys are going to handle is the king brown or mulga snake. Its venom, it only ranks up in the late teens, towards 20. But what it lacks in toxicity, it makes up for in size. Okay, so big snake, take your time.
Liz and Mike have never handled a venomous snake before and are extremely tense.
When you grab him, okay, nice and low, bring him up, keep him on the hook. If he starts to pull back, that's fine, okay?
You can put me with mammals, you can put me with birds, and I'm very, very comfortable. When it comes to reptiles though, it's completely foreign to me.
And now, left hand, right under me. That's it, mate. Yep, keep him out a little bit higher, straighten your body.
It's a monster. It's like a big long sock full of muscle, and it's turning and it's writhing, and I've got to watch that head the whole time, because at the end of that sock are a set of fangs that ultimately could be the end of me.
Next up is Liz.
That's it. Yep, hook under. Lizzie does really well. She got nerves of steel. She follows instruction perfectly. She's calm, and the snake stays calm. Thank you. Well done. Okay, up next, snake.
Nick and Kyle have handled venomous snakes, but never one this dangerous.
The tiger snake raises the bar again. It's the world's 4th most venomous snake, and the guys know it. You can't stop the feeling of, if this snake bites me, I'm gonna die.
You know it's a different kind of house call when the footwear of choice is thongs.
Chris has flown to Gladstone on Queensland's central coast. He's responding to an unusual emergency.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you. My name's Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly. All right, you got a turtle for me to see?
Certainly do. His name's Roger.
Okay, that's good.
Roger, a 7-year-old green sea turtle, is waiting for Chris at the Coin Island Rehabilitation Centre.
How far out to the island?
It's about 15 minutes across the harbour.
Like the James Bond of the turtle world. It's quite a ride. All right, which way's Roger?
He's right over here.
Is that him struggling at the top there now?
That's him. We found him a few days ago. He was floating in the mouth of the Boyne River, and he was just of concern as he was floating and unable to dive under the water.
Roger is one of a growing number of Australian sea turtles suffering from a devastating condition.
Floater disease is a really mysterious issue in turtles right now. We don't truly know what causes it. It's believed to be related back to malnutrition, just not getting enough food and having a weakened immune system, but also it could be caused by a blockage in their gut, causing a gas build-up or infection. So he's trying to dive down.
He is.
Each time he does, he inevitably comes back up.
Because they can't dive, they're unable to get down to the bottom of the water and feed on seagrass or feed on anything in that case. Otherwise, they're just stuck at the top with no food.
Unless Chris can find a solution, Roger won't survive.
So I guess with no food, plus having to work so hard to try to get food, that has become underweight, plus blown up.
It's a pretty sad case.
Yeah. Once a turtle starts to float, life becomes pretty perilous because they're at risk of being hit by boats, they can't feed themselves, and predators can just take their pick.
Okay, hook down, snake up, make sure your pinner's in place, and present the snake.
At the Australian Reptile Park, keepers Mick and Kyle are about to sit a terrifying test.
Oh, look at that.
Kyle's challenge is incredibly dangerous, capturing this monster tiger snake and pinning it.
And you just keep watching that head.
How do I feel about these snakes? They always get my nerves going. One drop of their venom is enough to kill you. I'm a small guy, not someone I want to get bitten by.
So your movements are calm, his movements are calm. Up onto the bench. That's it. Not too hard. Okay, let go of the tail. Yep. Fingers in. You good?
Yep.
Okay, well done, mate. That's it. Tail up. Lift him up. And now settle. Beautiful. How do you feel?
As good as you can feel. So I pinned my first tiger snake. It was an amazing experience. I've never felt anything like it.
Mick's task is trickier. Not only does he have to pin the snake, he also needs to milk it.
Okay, mate, so the best bit of advice I can give you is just keep concentrating. You know what to do. That's it.
I'm nervous about milking a tiger snake because it's my first time milking, and you got to get your hands right behind the head of the tiger snake. You can turn around, it can bite you if you're not doing it properly. It's the 4th most venomous snake in the world. One droplet of venom can kill 88 people, so it's pretty hair-raising sort of stuff.
That's it, mate. Keep a nice bit of pressure on, slide up. Got his tail. Well done. That's it. Okay. Now, when you present, just up. Yep, right up in between the lips there and he'll bite. That's it. Oh, nice, look at that. Mick's done it. He's milked the snake, his first ever. 2 good squirts of venom, that's what you want.
But Mick isn't out of danger just yet.
When you're ready, just lift him back gently and he'll let go. Letting the snake go is still dangerous. They never release all of their venom, so it's still a loaded weapon. Try tilting down to you a little bit. That's it. Well done. Sit your vial down.
So, 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Everything went to plan. I'm not bitten. I've milked my first tiger snake. I'm giving myself 2 thumbs up.
You all did really well, guys, and we're all a bit nervous, but that's good because that means we're respectful of the snakes, and that's what it's all about. That's how you don't get bitten. So, well done. That's it for today.
The training was great, and I feel like if there was a snake on the loose at the reptile park and I was the person in charge, that I could remove the snake and keep people safe.
I'd say he's had a real struggle. I mean, he's lucky that he actually got in here at some stage because his days would have been well and truly numbered.
Definitely.
Chris is at the Coin Island Turtle Rehabilitation Centre off Gladstone in Queensland.
Look at that towel underneath him there.
His patient is Roger, a 7-year-old green sea turtle with floater's disease.
I'd say if he's been floating, he's actually been floating for quite a while because that looks like sunburn.
It does.
The sun's almost bleached the top, and this shell is obviously not used to being exposed to direct sunlight constantly.
No.
So it gets these little burnt areas.
The condition causes gas to build up in the gut and body cavity, making the turtle buoyant. Roger is then unable to dive and feed off the seagrass on the ocean floor, leading to starvation and dehydration.
My hope today is to try to give Roger some sort of helping hand. And the best way to do that, it seems, is to take out some of this air to allow him to swim a bit more freely and hopefully then rest and recover. I'm just going to insert this needle now.
Okay.
Removing air from both sides of Roger's body is crucial for his survival.
It's like deflating a lilo at the moment. Okay, now it's stopping.
Okay.
So that's 240 mils on this side.
Wow.
So that explains why he has been having trouble swimming around.
Chris now needs to extract air from the other side of Roger's body.
And quite a bit. So straight away we've got 20 mils. Just keeps on coming. So all up 340 mils. It's about the size of a Coke can's worth of air.
Wow.
So that is a decent sized floaty to have inside you.
Definitely.
While there is no more air coming out, Chris does make a shock discovery.
I'll pull this needle out now. We're actually starting to get a bit of pus there.
Oh.
So it looks like he does actually have a bit of an infection sitting underneath that shell there. There are so many unknowns with this floater disease, but it looks like at least one of them has been solved. We know where this gas is coming from. Roger's picked up an infection underneath his shell with a type of bacteria that produces gas. Now it's a matter of hitting it hard with antibiotics. Okay, in it goes. Okay, Rog. Want to go for a swim now? See if it's a bit easier.
With the underlying infection treated, it's now time to see whether Roger is fit to return to the water.
Taking out all that gas, it's got to make swimming a little bit easier for Roger. But whether he's got the strength to really force himself to the bottom, we're about to see.
gorgeous girl. Are you okay? Look at your schnoz. That's a new one.
She's looking good so far, yeah?
Isn't she?
At SASH, Audrey is making good progress following life-changing surgery to repair her obstructed airway.
So I'm happy with how she's going, but I guess it's still early days. It's been not even 24 hours and things can change so quickly. Audrey's come out of surgery and so far she's looking really good. She's actually breathing quietly. There's no snoring. It's pretty amazing.
With Audrey now fully awake, Andrew is keen to find out if surgery has made her a bit more ladylike.
Hi, little Audrey. Hey, you're woken up all right, I bet you. Hey, how you going? Can I hear any snoring? No. That's an improvement, isn't it? Already. What a good little dog. Hey, you going all right? I see. You're probably hungry already, are you?
How's she going?
Yeah, no, she's going really well, actually.
Her nostrils look good.
Yes, they're not slits, they're actually holes.
Ah.
Look at that. See? Will let Lisa look after you now? Good girl.
All right.
All right, Lisa. I'll see you later.
Thanks. I'm going to look after you now, Missy. You keep breathing okay. I don't want any scary business, please. I keep reminding myself that it's early days. It's still the first 48 hours that things could go dramatically wrong. She could develop bleeding or swelling, and if that happens, she could obstruct, and that would be life-threatening.
Like a parent before its child's first swimming lesson. Nervous.
At the Coin Island Turtle Rehabilitation Centre, 7-year-old Roger has just had more than 300 mils of air removed from under his shell.
Hopefully, in the nicest possible way, you think.
His survival now depends on whether he can dive and remain submerged in the water. If he can't, he has no future in the wild.
Okay, Rog, aim for the bottom.
Take a dive, Roger.
There we go, it's more like it. The breath and down we go.
Excellent.
A lot better.
It's looking good.
When he finally hits the water, the important thing is he's not floating with his back up in the air, and also he can stay underwater. It's a big change.
It will be several more months of rehabilitation before Roger regains his full strength. But a future in the wild is now possible.
The solution to floating turtles is never a quick or an easy one, but at least today we've seen the start. And pretty soon he should be back swimming, not the pool, but in the ocean. And down he goes. It's a start, huh?
Job well done, I believe.
Gorgeous girl. How are you going? 1, 2, 3. Have a look at you.
At SASH, it's 2 days since the surgery to help Audrey breathe properly.
Hey, you're breathing like a lady. Hey, you're breathing like a lady. Yes, you are.
And it sounds like the operation has been a success.
Audrey's doing really well. She fortunately didn't develop any post-operative swelling or bleeding, has followed all the rules, and I think she's ready to go home.
Devoted owner Brogan and Audrey's boyfriend Hendrix can't wait to see the little French Bulldog.
I'm really excited. I'm super excited, actually. I get to take my baby home. My sweet little girl. Oh, miss you. Hello. Oh, baby. Hello. How are you?
When Audrey reunites with Hendrix and Brogan, the excitement on all of their faces is just priceless. There are tails wagging, cuddles, licks. It's all happening in here.
And you sound beautiful. Hey?
She's breathing like a lady, which is what we promised.
That's true.
And it will continue to get better over the next month.
Wow. She looks different, she sounds different. It looks like she's actually breathing properly and enjoying being able to breathe. Come on, you ready? Let's go.
When I first met Audrey, she had difficulty breathing, she was noisy. Now she's had surgery, she's breathing like a normal dog. And this is just really good news because she's only 11 months old and now she's got her whole life ahead of her.
Come on guys, you're going home.
You're sitting like it's Judgment Day.
Well, hi.
See, we've been friendly to start with.
Yes,
And let's see where this ends up.
A month after Chris laid down the law to overweight Ziggy, he's about to find out if the big boy has lost any weight.
Rosalie's hopeful, and I'm incredibly optimistic that today, finally, we're going to see a drop in Ziggy's weight. But not being able to get him out of the box, that's not a great sign. Get some lubricant in here, please.
Let's just
Giving birth. Okay, Zig. Let's have a little talk, huh?
show and tell time, darling. Show and tell time. You can do it. Good boy.
Is he happy?
No.
Okay.
He's hungry. He's stressed.
It is honesty time.
Yes.
What has been happening over the last month or so with his diet?
Absolute boot camp. The cat is starving. He smells food, he wants it. Anything that is potentially edible, he's investigating. The poor thing is just beside himself.
It's time for the weigh-in. And it has to be under 12.8. I think this is one that Rosalie can't bear to watch. It's not a good start, Z, when you've nearly dislocated my shoulder. All comes down to this, huh? Here we go.
Hopefully he's done the right thing and he's lost some weight. Time will tell. We've been trying. We'll just have to see. Break it to me, come on.
Today,
Yes.
he's 12
Yes.
point 2 kilos. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, it's a start, all right?
Yes.
600 grams.
Yes.
It's the most hard-fought 600 grams I've ever seen in my life.
But we're on a roll.
But it's something. It's the start. It's not the finish.
No, we're nowhere near the finish.
It feels like today, the rest of Ziggy's life has finally begun. And if Rosalie can stay strong for the next few months and years, then Ziggy might just get down to that magical 10 kilo mark. You gotta live in hope.
Thank you, Chris.
It's my pleasure. Ziggy, thank you. He's gonna hiss me and he's gonna miss me. Shall we go?
Let's go.